Judgment time.
Welcome to Everything Comes Back to 2000AD, and today we're joined by Mr. Stephen Ross.
Mr. Rossy, what you want? Oh, the tree of ice cream cones, a cocoa castle full of home, custard cakes, coffee breaks, holiday, we're on the stage.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas from totally not snowy Southern California.
Mr. John Burtis.
Hello to all you drockers out there from a... Well, it's bright, and I think it's nice and warm. It's probably about 8, 9 summer degrees. Once it gets into double figures, it's too warm for me. But I manage it around the rest of the world. Just in the UK, it's just weird.
Wait, was that squeaky sound you turning around in your chair?
That was me pretending I went... See? I can do noises just like you.
It sounds like the Star Trek bridge
Oh,
alarms.
the alert. So it's not too bad. I've got 2 more nights at work, and then I'm off for, let me think, nearly a fortnight. Lovely.
Oh, my God.
I've played the 2 places I'm at off each other. So normally they don't let people take holidays over Christmas. But because I've been doing 2 months at another depot, I'm getting expenses to go there. I love it, and it's quite nice. I'm waiting there till the 23rd, and then I go back to my place, supposedly after Christmas. So I said to the person at the other place, I said, I don't know what's happening after that 23rd. I said, can I put in for holidays? And she went, yeah, what do you want? I said, I want from like that day until like the first week in January. Yeah. Now the funny thing is, she's called Charlie, and my boss at the other place is a bloke, and he's called Charlie. And she went, yeah, I'll do that for you. She goes, oh, sod that other Charlie, he's useless. And I went, that'll do me nicely. I said, is it all done? I said, thank you very much. So I straight away then started booking things up for me, Carolyn and Sam, laughing. And I'm waiting for when it gets the day and I get a notification saying, this is your time to come in tonight. And I'll go, sorry, as you should know, I'm on holiday now. I did it all with Charlie over at the other place. But yeah, all good fun.
Yep.
So what have you been up to? What have you? I know it's a lot of time. You're jealous, Rossy.
What's that?
You're jealous, Rossy.
I get like 1 extra day. That's it.
1 extra day.
Yeah,
God.
one extra day for Christmas.
And talking about Christmas and the people who kill themselves because they have such a miserable life and they're lonely, let's talk about deaths, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Here we go. Right. First one up. This is my favourite one because it's a thing that I'm going to laugh at with Mr. Ross.
Yeah, how many boomers died this week?
Well, I was only going to do 3, but because you forced the 4th one on, which I did see, but I think he was only with them. Well, we'll get to that person.
No, that was me. I did that one.
Yeah. Rosa von Braunheim, aged 83, German filmmaker. And we go into the old wiki page. She was it was a German film. What?
Hitler.
Me, we know. She was a German film director, author, producer, professor of directing, and one of the most influential and famous queer activists in the German-speaking world. Now, what I enjoyed about this was some of the names of the films that she was involved in. As I scrolled down, oh my God, this scrolling is just terrible. Where's it at? Right. This is a selected filmography. This, I mean, this was quite funny. The bed sausage, the Berlin bed sausage. It is not the homosexual who is perverse, but the society in which he lives. These are all film titles. Now there is some, obviously, I'm presuming she's some horror ones because there was Horror Evacui, City of Lost Souls, and things like that, where Mr. Ross would enjoy. But there's also some more funny names. Transsexual Menace in 1996. And there's a Strontium Dog one called Life is Like a Cucumber in 1990. So when I saw the initial thing about what film she'd done, I just started laughing because I thought I've got to open that page up and see the names of all the other films. Here's one: Men, Heroes, and Gay Nazis. It's just fucking awesome. Just the names of all these things. So anyway, but I did laugh when I seen that because I just thought that's one of those funny things. And if you bring a smile to people's faces in this terrible time, it's all good. Next one up is...
I bet those titles are even funnier in German.
Oh, the will. I mean, I did sing. Was it you, Flint, who sent that song in the chat?
Yeah, Jingle Bells.
I started singing that to Cowland afterwards straight away. I just couldn't stop it. It was very good. Next one up is Mike Abrahams, aged 82. Oh, the special death age. We've got 2 at 82 this week, sorry. English guitarist and singer. And as I opened his page up, he was rock and blues rock. He was with Jethro Tull. He was the original one of the original members for Jethro Tull, but from what I was reading, he was only on there for like a year. And when I look at the discography, he is Jethro Tull 1968, and the album is This Was, and so that confirms he was just with them for the one sort of like initial bit. But yeah, Jethro Tull were quite influential at the time. Then he did a lot of stuff with a group called Blodwyn Pig, and I think with the name Blodwyn it might be Welshish. Let me look at where he was born. But I don't think it said it was Wales. No, Bedfordshire in England. But yeah, interesting. Another one of those people. I always think people who were around in sort of like the 60s, 70s, that sort of musical era, I think they had a better proper sort of like rock existence compared to the people nowadays. You know what I mean? I mean, probably the Sex Pistols were the last sort of, and the early sort of like Guns N' Roses were the proper rock stuff. Nowadays, it's a lot of stuff that you have on the radio is very bland, unless you go to the specialist radio stations that do, like, say, 60s, 70s rock and things like that. I can't even remember, and I mean, people will be going, "This is your age, John." I can't remember who the fuck's in the charts, and I blame that on not having Top the Pops on the TV, because everyone used to watch Top the Pops when I was young.
Well, they're probably afraid of putting Top of the Pops on TV, and do that to super vet the presenters.
Well, do you know what they'd have to do? They'd have to have Max Headroom doing it. You're safe with Max. You know what I mean? Because they can't show anything, can they? They show clips and stuff, and you're like, well, there's tons of songs they're not shown, and I wonder if that's because they're all introduced by another pervert from the BBC. But yeah, so sad to hear his demise. I mean, it's just one of those things when you get to 82 nowadays. And talking about 82, we've got, here he is, bitty, Jill Gerard, aged 82, American actor, mainly known by us old folks from Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. Do
you want to correct him, Flint, or shall I?
Oh, his name, Gil. Is it Gil?
Gil, yeah.
Gil Gerard. Is it Gil Gerard or Gil Gerard?
Gil, just to make it more confusing, it's
of
Gil
course.
Gerard. It's 2 G's with totally different sounds.
Yeah.
So
you got he was in a dozen or so films, such as Airport 77, which I didn't know that.
I saw that in the theater when I was a kid, but I remember nothing about it. So
yeah.
yeah.
Then he was in stuff like
Was that when your mom was being a bad parent, taking you out of school so you can watch these movies with her?
That one, no. The taking me out of school didn't happen until the Lucas Spielberg Revolution.
Do you know what? When you're doing your like bad films with your mum and that, I remember was Jaws 77 or was it 76?
That's a good question. I think it might have even been 75, I think it might be, perhaps.
Yeah, because I remember going to see
75.
Jaws. I remember now I was born in 67, and I went to see Jaws when it was at the Pictures with my mum and my brother. And when we got home, I started doing all sorts of, because me and my brother shared the big bedroom.
Of course you did.
And I remember doing all the noises, doing the music, and he was like, "Mum, John's trying to scare me," because to me I was obviously warped, and I loved that. And then when my mum took us to see Alien, that was even better when we got home, because I was doing, "What's that? What's that at the window, Gordon? What's that? There's something in the window." I just constantly wouldn't stop. So I've always been a night person, even as a kid. But yeah, I look back and I think, God, I was watching those films at 8. You know what I mean? Which is brilliant.
Because I think Alien was R-rated, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was 79. And my mum got me the collected comic thing that came out at the time. I had that for Christmas.
That's a collector's item.
Yeah, I got that for Christmas, but I found it months before on top of the wardrobe.
You were looking for it, weren't you?
I'd read it well in advance, so I wasn't interested come Christmas morning. Just give me the other things. But yeah, I remember that was the days when your mum would send you to the paper shop and get a load of cigarettes and take them back home, which you can't do nowadays. It was the old days. But yeah, so with these Gil Gerard stuff, he did Soldier's Fortune, and his role there was Robert E. Lee Jones. Interesting there. It had an alternative title called Soldiers of Fortune, so they had an extra bit inside. Also, to keep Flint and Mr. Ross happy, there's 4 films here in a row which were direct to video, and it's Mom, Can I Keep Her? 1998, Fugitive Mind, The Stepdaughter, and Air Age. So he did obviously the film Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, where he was Captain William Buck Rogers. But then you get to the TV stuff, which he was in quite a few bits. The Doctors he was in as Dr. Alan Bennett, 162 episodes. So that's obviously his opening gambit on the TV stuff. He was in A Little House on the Prairie. We used to watch that. Hawaii Five-0, Buck Rogers. He was in all 37 episodes. Did some look here. He was in a program, I don't know this one, Sidekicks, for 23 episodes. So I presume, and that was a 2-year thing. So I presume he was the main character on that, if he was in that many episodes. He was in Earth Force, 6 episodes on that.
I don't remember Earth Force.
Yeah, well, it's done like E full stop, A full stop, sorry, R period, T period for you Americans.
So Sidekicks, that starred one of the guys who went on to be in one of the live action Ninja Turtle suits.
Oh.
Yeah, he was a child actor, Ernie Reyes Jr.
Then he was in a load of TV movies from 2006 to 2011, including one called Reptisaurus, Bone Eater, Ghost Town. Then he was in Star Trek Voyager's Phase 2 as Admiral Sheehan, episode Kitumba. And then he was in 3 episodes of Transformers, Robots in Disguise. He was Megatronus voice. So there's Gil. But like I say, to us, he'll always be, who will he be? He'll be Buck Rogers.
Yeah. I realized
he always had sexy Wilma next to him.
Yeah. Well, Princess Ardala, man.
Oh, well, for you, yeah.
Yeah. But,
and, yeah.
he gained a lot of weight. Like he was doing the convention circuit towards the end there, and was completely unrecognizable. Yeah, because like Sam Jones. Well, I don't know who's older, but I assume that they're kind of within the same age bracket. And Sam Jones still looks like he could be an old Flash Gordon. Well, actually, he was
because Sam Jones is the security guy now.
Yeah, he was. Well, he was old Flash Gordon in the Ted movies, but
yes, he was indeed.
Yeah. So, but Gil Gerard is like, oh, wow.
I watched.
You're 500 years old, I see.
Now, you're talking about the Sam Jones and the Flash Gordon. When I was in El Paso, the Ted movie came on, where they were going to see him, and there was the fireside scene where they got the bong out, which was shaped like a penis. Now that I did take pictures, but I didn't show you them. That bong was blared out on the TV screen in that hotel. And I laughed because you could tell what it was by the way they played it out.
Right.
Yeah.
It's even funny. Some Dr. Demento used to play songs that he'd bleep out the swear word or whatever, but you knew exactly what it was, and that actually made it funnier. Because when I heard Titties and Beer, like the full version without the edits, it was like, oh yeah. But when you're a kid, it's like, hee hee hee, I know what he's saying.
Of course. So, but, and the final death then we've got is Ruth Bourne, aged 99, and she was a British codebreaker and World War II veteran. Now, she was part of the group who were at Bletchley Park, who couldn't talk about anything, and it only got to light a couple of dozen years ago. That just shows you some secrets can be kept by a lot of people.
What a useless job. All she had to do is do nothing because the US saved your asses anyways.
Is that when your submarine supposedly got the
it's when the Americans marched all the way into Germany and took care of everything for you.
No, I think you'll find that we were there. You wouldn't even go over the water.
It doesn't matter. If it wasn't for us, you'd all be speaking German.
No, don't you be giving that rubbish.
No.
You know that.
You think if the US didn't enter World War II, you would have won World War II.
You know that 95% of all the ships in that channel were British.
Listen,
If it wasn't for those plucky Canadians, that's what it was. It was those plucky Canadians.
You know full well if the US didn't enter that war, you'd be fucked.
And you know that user position
in both wars.
You know that on D-Day, user position so far to the left on that invasion because she was scared of the tank columns coming towards you.
Doesn't matter.
So we took the brunt of it.
Doesn't matter. The war changed when the US entered into it.
Anyway,
Hitler knew he was done.
Anyway, all you Americans,
the war because
all
the
Jews
Jews
all those Americans that came
Hollywood.
They
didn't have to break any codes. They should have just laid down and said, "Oh well, here comes the Americans. Let them do the job." And we'll just
they weren't even
back.
Americans. Well, they weren't even Americans. They were all Italians who came over from America because you were all the true Americans, which is no such thing. We're cowards. Anyway, she also was a bomb operator, and it says here she was one of the
useless job.
The Wrens responsible for dismantling the bombs wire by wire after the end of the war. So that's an interesting one because I do remember reading and watching documentaries where these factories throughout parts of the UK would explode. Woolwich Arsenal had a big bomb factory, so they took a hit. All people cause sparks and things. Whole bloody areas would be blown to pieces. And she was also recruited to be a member of the team at HMS Pembroke 5 as part of the STX special duties. So,
what did she do after the war? What did she do after the war?
She became a porn star.
Did she bomb the base?
No, it says after the war, she said, right, here we go. In 1945, when the war ended, all the workers of Bletchley Park were told they must continue to keep their... Fuck me, why did that just jump up? Fuck me. Must continue to keep their work there a secret. It was not until 1972 when the book, The Ultra Secret, was published that she, along with other Bletchley Park workers, were able to tell their families about their involvement in bringing down Nazi Germany. And then it says, Ruth described what it was like when the news finally broke, saying that you got so used to not talking to anyone that even after they were allowed to disclose their role, she still could not talk about her experience in depth. So that's all it says about after the war. But
I think I've seen an interview with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the end of it, she said there was no point in me doing my job because the Americans saved the day anyways.
Oh, that's right, yeah. You mean the Mexicans and the Italians?
Doesn't matter. They're all on the American flag.
No. Yeah.
Oh, no, they wouldn't let us back in afterwards. So
I've been watching these videos where I've been watching these videos, and I did send a few shorts with you didn't answer to. I don't know why. Where these American historical people said there's only one country that were in from the beginning, from the very start of the World War II to the very end. Well, apart from Germany, obviously.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you. That doesn't mean you won the war.
We went into the war full well known.
Listen.
Full well known that we did not come out the same.
Did they mention when the US went over to the US that when the US went over to the UK bases, they had to give the soldiers leaflets not to rub it in that they're shit at winning wars?
No, they didn't have to do that.
Yeah, they did.
What they had to do was.
You want me to find it for you? They were told not to rub it in. They were told not to rub it in that you guys couldn't do anything.
When the Americans come over with their racist attitudes, and they said to the British, they said to the military,
"Don't says you have the country that has gollywogs in their jam jars.
Don't you have black soldiers?
We sent our black people over there to you guys.
And they said, don't you have black people going down those pubs? And the British military went, you can shove that right up your ass. And they just let them go into the towns.
Gollywogs in our jars.
I think Flint's going to be deleting some of this. But anyway, there's the deaths of all those people. And isn't it strange how each week there's always a couple who are aged 82?
Well, they had the jab.
It was the jab. You died just after 82. Sorry, just before 82, I think it was. So they were saying that the averages would be, if you didn't have the jab, you would die at 82, so you would live longer, slightly. So, anyway, there's them.
Well, you did. I probably will end up cutting this out, but you did miss the death.
Oh God! What do you think he's going to say? What do you think he's going to say, Rossy?
I don't know. Trump's not really done anything this week. Death of believing the Epstein files were able to be released without a ton of detractions and.
That's Avengers in Trump land. We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
the death of Jason Kingsley and Rebellion's reputation.
Oh God, yeah.
God. Okay.
I'll have to find it now. But do you still have that screenshot, John, or is it gone?
Hang on a second. Let me just go to this bit here. Right. It opens it up. This is case board. Kingsley versus McCaskill. Case information. Case number KB2025.
Oh my God, you got the case number.
Yeah, 004646. Court list. Media and communication. Part 7. Claim. Defamation, libel and slander. Inferred case status. Active. Then it goes claimant. Kingsley, Jonathan, Jason. And that's Harbert and Lewis. And the defendant, McCaskill, Kim, litigant in person. So that's the official case thing, that is.
And when's that supposed to be?
That says last case activity 17th of December 2025. So there's nothing else on this little thing.
All right, just to let people know that the person that Jason is bringing to court for defamation and stuff, I think she's a video game producer, and she arranged to have a call with Jason and about some project that she had, and the call went sideways. It went not the way she was expecting, and she said that more or less that I'm paraphrasing here, that Jason was being really rude, and she couldn't believe how bad he was to her and to the other people on the phone call, something like that. Anyway, she went on LinkedIn and posted that information, and that obviously must have got back to Jason Kingsley, and so Jason has decided to sue her. I don't know if she's doing anything else behind the scenes, but I don't think he's going to win that one. And the reason I think he's not going to win that one because there was 2 other witnesses. Yeah. So here's what Sir Jason wrote. Some of you will be aware that I've been pursuing a legal complaint following a series of false and damaging statements.
Hang on. You got to do your Sir Jason voice.
Well, we'll pause that because I bet a lot of people thought it was us.
Yeah, well, we're entitled to it. You're entitled to have an opinion.
That's exactly right.
Right. So that's why I think he's gonna fail, because there were two other witnesses on that call, and they seem to be
consistent.
No, they seem to be have a good reputation, the two other people. So unless she's been doing stuff other than that, other than what she posted on LinkedIn. But anyway, some of you will be aware that I've been pursuing a legal complaint following a series of false and damaging statements made online about me and Rebellion. This is not something I do lightly, as it will take some time and a cost of money that could be put to better use making great games or importing Spanish horses. Oh,
I was going to say feeding horses.
I added that one in. That didn't exist, so forget that one.
Only fools and Spanish horses.
No, a lot of cost of money we put better use making great games, but at some point enough is enough. I have held my tongue and tried to deal with the situation reasonably, but the person responsible has refused to engage and told me that I have to sue. So here we are. Now, the thing is, she probably didn't want to engage with him because of what happened before, so I can understand that. He put a formal chain for malicious falsehood and defamation has been issued at the High Court. This means litigation is formally underway. I try to avoid fights, but I've been left with no choice. The multiple untruths posted about me, the abusive comments, and the violent AI-generated imagery. Oh, I wonder where that's popping up. Are not only hurtful and damaging to me, and my family, but they've also impacted. Maybe it's people responding to her, making fun of him.
Having him on his horse in his knight's gear saying, I live my life as a knight and I believe in truth and justice and the British way.
Probably. But they also really impacted. Yeah, this probably is, and that's why, just let it go, man. It's not doing you any good. But they also impact Rebellion, the talented people in it, their families, and our games industry that I put so much in my time into supporting and helping build over decades. It is ironic that this stems from a call I agreed to take. Oh, there is. So I can give unpaid advice to fellow creatives. Well, actually, I think she wanted them to be part of the project. So now I'm standing up to someone who I believe is a bully. I want to show that bullying does not work and has no place in an industry or our land. Oh my God, that's real highfalutin, or our land. See that? He's doing it for the country. He's doing it for the country.
He doesn't mind employing bullies that actually push people to kill themselves, does he, though?
No. Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, well, but he does hire people who do that. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, he hires bullies.
Yeah,
I mean, look at we know a few of them already. Jim Campbell, Gordon Rennie, Alex DeCampi. I do this not just for me, my family, and Rebellion, but also for those who may not have the resources to stand their ground and fight for their reputation. Sometimes fight we must and fight we will. Oh my God, he's going full Churchill here. So we're going to court. Thanks to all the colleagues and friends who have offered unequivocal support. Your words are very welcome. Finally, as I said previously, please do not attack the individual. Only want vindication, not vengeance. Dun, dun, dun.
When he goes on about friends who give support, that'll be all the people who are desperate to work for him, who just think, I'm just going to keep in his good books.
Yes, this could have all been resolved already with a proper apology and retraction, but the matter is now in the hands of the courts. I think he's picking the wrong battle. I think he should just let it go.
I think he should challenge her to a joust.
It'll be for his next special edition book, where it costs like £700 for one of these special covers. You know what I mean? Then books that he released where he had these special covers where they were a hell of a lot more expensive than a normal cover.
I can read what Kim McCaskill wrote if you want.
Why not? Because it's there.
Yeah, here it is. Thanks for everything. This is from 5 months ago. So,
which I think we read at the time, didn't we?
Yeah, it's been gestating for a while. She wrote, thanks to everyone who messaged me yesterday. I felt the need to sleep on this before writing. But as it goes, I'm just as disappointed today as I was yesterday. The long and short is, Jason Kingsley Rebellion is an absolute stain on the industry and a massive problem for anyone who won't speak out. I had an incident that I've been struggling to put into words, but I'm going to do my best here. As many of you know, Hook, 1991 by Steven Spielberg, written by the incredible J.V. Hart, who also wrote Bram Stoker's Dracula, Muppets Treasure Island, Contact, etc. And I was gifted the opportunity to explore a way to make a video game of Neverland. It was suggested to me that this might be something Jason would want to talk about, and so we set up a meeting, initially cancelled by Jason, then rearranged for yesterday. The link was sent. Right, I turned up, JV turned up, Jake turned up, no Jason. We had the attempt of him or someone joining, but he quit before I could even admit him, around 10 seconds. It seems Jason used a dated link, and hey, haven't we all been there? That's for you, Rossy. I think she put that in there for you.
Yeah.
I decided to call him, which seemed a reasonable thing to do. The absolute venom and anger I got from this guy was unhinged, and she has venom and unhinged in caps. Not only did it take me aback, he hung up, and I decided to call back and record. Thank Scotland's first party of consent law, because I had to have it on record. So she hasn't recorded. Now Jason has never encountered me, Jim, or Jake, and his anger that we were not in the same room was absolutely blown out of proportion, that I could barely get in, that he had used the wrong link. The more I tried to reason, the more cruel it became. Like, I'm not kidding. This was the most insane, narcissistic conversation I've ever had with a person from this industry. It was all about how we had wasted his time, his in caps. He could not accept that we had joined the wrong room and continued to have a tantrum. It came down to him barking at me. You're the one that wants something from me. So you want money? You want me to buy your thing? You want a deal and you don't show up. He wasn't really taking anything I was saying in, and to every question I said, no, we are at the conversation stage only for now. He then proceeded to go on and on about how he carved his time out for us and we had disrespected him. We were all there in the right room waiting for him, and it was at this point I had to ask if he knew who any of us were. He said no. He hung up on me 3 times as I tried to fix this. Then he called me back, but at that point I was done. For the record, I have no stake in this. I'm a huge fan of Jim's work. I wanted to do my best to connect Jake and Jim with game studios so they could potentially make something happen. Neverlands isn't my IP. I am first and foremost a simple fan that's been trying to work out if this could be possible. We had a lovely meeting with Netflix, BBC, and others, and we have further meetings this week and next week. More below. I just like to add it's 8 a.m. and more than one person has contacted me about previous similar experiences with this person. I just bloody knew it in my bones. There you go.
I shall have my scribe write on a scroll and deliver it.
And I did respond when that did come out. I did respond about the Spanish horse story that he had during COVID, which was really funny. But she recorded the conversation.
Yeah.
So if that's true and it goes to court, she plays that conversation. I mean, he's better off just look.
I want to hear that shit.
Yeah, I know, but everybody's entitled to a bad day.
Yeah.
So if this is true, and Jason was belligerent and was that way to her, I mean, it could be just he had a bad day, right? And that's why she tried to call him 3 times and he refused, and then he probably went, you know what, I better call her back, and then she's like, I'd had enough. So I don't know. These are just opinions, not written in stone. But it's a bad look for Sir Jason. He's better off just leaving it. And this is 5 months ago. You know what I mean? But he probably feels that the company's reputation is being tainted. So he probably feels he needs to do it. But it wasn't really about the rebellion, though. It was about his behavior. So
he could be walking right into the Streisand effect, where it's like, he said, she said, nobody cares, or just people like us do make a big deal out of nothing. But then if he makes a big deal out of it and more people hear about it, it's going to be like, ooh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's probably better off just washing his hands of it and just like, well, whatever.
The peasants have a short memory.
But he's doing it not just for sometimes fight we must and fight we will.
Yes. You could totally hear it too in the corniest.
Bullying does not work and has no place in our industry or in our land. He's doing it for the country.
Good woman, my pride has been affronted.
He'd have took one of his gauntlets off and hit the microphone on his computer, wouldn't he?
Wow.
Yeah, my advice is just don't do it, man.
Oh, he
Because
doesn't listen to you.
if she no
He's not gonna
if she has a recording and you're the way she described you, you're done. Now she might have been doing stuff as well, like other people from the industry contacted her and she told them about it, and maybe that's why he's pissed off because maybe it's like a Rolling Stone, like it's
Yeah.
gathering moss. So that's probably the reason why, because it was 5 months ago. So
Yep.
oh, what are you done? Anyways, that's the death of uh, Sir
Yes.
Jason.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not a good look. Suing people is never a good look. Um, all right, so Adventures in Trumpland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the Epstein stuff is coming out, but you're not going to see everything. There's a lot of redactions, and there's always going to be redactions because Epstein was a uh, a blackmailer, and he was working for the intelligence community. So you're not going to see Mike Benz did a. If you're not following Mike Benz on Twitter, you should. On X, you should. Mike Benz does a deep dive into Epstein's connections. And yeah, he was an intelligence asset. I mean, there's a reason they have a picture of Bill Clinton in a sauna or in a swimming pool with one of the victims who was underage, blacked out, and that can only be used for blackmail purposes. There's no other reason to take that photograph. Um, so yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of files with blacked out faces, which you'll get because they're victims. The only ones they're blanking out as victims, and or pretend or people that they think are victims, and then you're going to get a lot of the court stuff completely blacked out because it'll mention names. And just because your picture is taken with Epstein doesn't mean you're guilty. They have ones of Mick Jagger with Jeffrey Epstein and Michael Jackson with Jeffrey Epstein, and that doesn't mean anything. That's you're going to put guilt by association. So all these rich people always travel in the same circles, so you're going to get a lot of that.
Right.
But any of the names in the court stuff is going to be completely blacked out. So
Mick Jagger's guilty of something. Come on.
Oh, you don't know.
Of something.
Well, Kevin Spacey wasn't fooling around with underage girls.
Yeah.
So, because that's not his taste. So, yeah, so you're not going to get the whole thing, and they're going to release as much of the information as they possibly can legally, because I still think there's more court cases going on, and also a lot of the victims got paid off and got signed NDAs. So, yeah, there's a lot going on too.
But at this point, it's like, well,
you knew it was going to come back. You knew it was going to come back and bite the Democrats in the butt. You knew it was going to come back. I mean, they released a picture of Trump with and there's like 6 people. The Democrats did this, not the committee, not the Department of Justice. The Democrats released an image of Trump with like 6 or 7 women, and they all had their faces blacked out. And it's like, you absolute cretins. I mean, you absolute scumbags, because that picture had been circulating on the net before, and Trump was at a beauty pageant, and they weren't victims. They weren't underage girls. So that was their attempt to smear Trump. Right. So it's like, and that's the Democrats for it, because they have nothing. They have no policies. When Hakeem Jeffries was asked about Speaker Johnson or Comer, the head of the committee, and he about him trying to do something to do with a bill or something, and Hakeem Jeffries had no answer. He just attacked Comer personally, instead of offering up a solution or offering up what the Democrats think should be done. And this is what they're all coming down to. If you ask them like about a certain like, what do you think about President Trump attacking narco boats, in the thing, instead of saying, well, we need to figure out a different way to do this or whatever, they're just like, well, he's a lunatic. And they have no policies. And you don't win elections or you don't win people over by having no policies, by just name calling all the time. You have to have policies.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're fucked. It'll be interesting to see how the midterm. See, now they're going on this affordability thing. Well, gas is coming down, and they are working on the like Trump is working on making everything more affordable. But I'll take it probably another 6 months or so. But that's their latest thing now that they're trying to get them on, and it's not going to work.
Mm.
So there you go. The Epstein files may as well have been an extra death because they're not going to get everything that they think they're going to get.
Yeah.
But at least this administration's releasing the whatever they can compared to the last administration.
Yeah.
They released nothing. In fact, it wasn't a thing. The Democrats only made it an issue when Trump won.
Mm-hmm.
They were quiet for 4 years, which means they didn't care about the victims.
Yeah. At this point, I'm just kind of like, I'll believe it when I see it about everything. So I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say yes. It's like, okay, this is more than anybody else has bothered to deliver yet. So, and you know what else I'd like to see? Something, the stuff can come out, and then I'd like to see someone do something about whatever.
Yeah. Well,
some arrests or whatever.
They're still going to release more information.
Mm-hmm. Yes, information.
Yeah, they're going to release more of the files.
Yeah. Be nice if there were some actual arrests, but okay, I think they're just waiting for all these old fucks to just die. It's like
then you'll get the names released.
Some of them are close enough to 82 that they'll probably just kick off and die before.
Yeah.
It's like they're 78 now. It's like, yeah, we could drag this shit out for another 4 years, and then like they'll be dead and it won't matter to them.
Well,
so
the only reason the Democrats got such a hard on to release the files is because they want to try and get Trump, and then when they find out that they can't get Trump, they'll just switch tactic to something else. They're not concerned that they have an ex-Democrat president in a swimming pool with underage girls.
Well, they'll do the same. Well, I mean, they got a whole painting of him wearing this blue dress for some reason too. But there's with the I lost my train of thought. So, but anyway, yeah. I mean, it to me it's getting to be like all theater and distracting from other stuff. So, you guys do you, and I'll do me. I can't even be bothered to pay attention to it anymore because it's exactly like WWE, the WWE playbook, where it's like you get the feeling that something's there's the illusion of something progressing, and then it's like then there's a reset, and then the next thing, and then a reset. And it's like, okay.
Well, Trump is the ultimate troll because he trolls so much. He has the Democrats concentrating on the wrong things. I mean, he by like renaming the Kennedy Center or the JFK Trump Center or whatever, they're all outraged over it. Meanwhile, he's working on other stuff like getting prescription drugs down and blah blah blah. So they're all the Democrats are always concentrating on the wrong things.
Right. Yeah, certainly entertaining. Some of the promises made at the beginning, it's kind of like from what I understand, and you're probably going to jump down my neck for this one, but like that whole Doge thing at the beginning, that looked promising, and then like some people got fired, and it's like, okay, we're going to save X amount of, we're gonna save a total of.
Well, that Doge is still around, right?
Is it?
Yeah, it's still around.
Oh, okay.
It's its own department now that will go through things, and they're still laying off people, and they're still going through the fraud.
Okay. And
just that Elon's left.
Okay, I'm not surprised that they're not nobody's reporting on it because
Oh, they are reporting on it.
Oh, okay.
Just that your crackpots that you listen to on the internet aren't listening to Rossy.
I can't be bought. Well, I mean, it's like they get rid of these departments and all that, then they rebrand it as something else and bring it back, and so it's kind of like, okay, that's that seems to be the pattern for that sort of thing, because they can't let it go, because it's like a revenue stream for them. For it's like, well, we've solved the problem, but we can't let the department of whatever go, because now people depend on it. So
No, because they got rid of the Department of Education.
right.
So
So
so you're probably wrong there too.
yeah, it's fine.
But I do agree with you. People need to go to jail.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a lot of people
Tim
now.
Waltz needs to go to jail.
Yeah, I
For all
mean,
the fraud that's going on in Minnesota, and he's not watching it. I mean, because they have no audits. They set up these programs, and there's no accountability.
yeah,
And
I mean,
it's done like that on purpose so they can pilfer it.
well, I mean, the shocking thing is how no follow-up for anything's been done either, because like half of my coworkers are wearing the painter's masks now because it's Christmas, and either they're hacking up a lung, or they do it because customers around them are hacking up lungs. And a lot of those customers who are hacking up lungs are also wearing the painter's masks. And I'm like,
But masks save lives, Rossy.
did nobody fall? I mean, during the thing, when everybody was scared, I understand. But it's like so much has come out after that that said that only those the surgical N95 masks did any good. The painter's masks are actually dangerous, because you're breathing in particle. If you're wearing it for an 8-hour day, you're breathing in the particles, and then once you touch it, the bacteria, you're basically smooshing your own bacteria on your face all day, and then you pick up a phone and talk into it and smearing it into the receiver and everything else. It's like, did you not hear that part? Honestly, they did not. And there were stories during the thing where some family said that they were going to come over for Thanksgiving. We've all got COVID, but we're all going to wear masks. And it's like, what kind of magic did you infuse into that mask that's going to protect everybody? Just because, the whole thing was, anyway, I'm not going to get into it again because I've said it so many times, but we're right back to that shit. And but the point is, nobody's following up on anything. And like, except for a few people who are like, I am never going to trust the government again, and I don't fucking care anymore, because they're just going to drag their goddamn heels for everything. And it won't even, by the time anything gets done, it won't even matter. And that's the playbook. So my new favorite guy on YouTube is called Professor Jiang, Giang. You guys won't listen to it because the videos are like an hour and a half long. I can make them down to less than an hour with the speed thing.
You could be working on your comic book projects instead of listening to that.
I'm taking a shower, or I'm making my breakfast, or I'm taking out the trash, or I'm folding laundry, or whatever. So no. And I could be, or I'm walking to the bus stop. It's all, I can manage my time. But and why bother with the comic book thing? Because nobody's going to bother to. I'm doing comics that nobody's going to read, so I might as well listen to this guy explaining how things really are. And he's like the least kooky of all of them, and the least he doesn't do a bit. He's just like, this is history. He's extremely well read. And they just plunk the camera down, and he teaches high school in China, so he's not beholden to any of our propaganda. And
no, he's beholden to Chinese, though.
The thing is, he doesn't. It's not. I was listening for that. I was suspicious of that, but I'm not hearing it. Because he's also not talking
you're
about.
You're telling me he's has a YouTube channel coming out of China, and that thing isn't being watched by the Chinese government.
Some of the comments are even saying like, how does he get away with saying some of this stuff? Because
it's propaganda.
No, it's not propaganda, though. It's not. It's like he's sourcing them from like actual books that have been published and printed in English or whatever.
What do you think, John?
What do you think of this channel that you haven't even listened to, John?
I opened it up the first time you showed us, and I just went, I ain't really watching that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's and the thing is, I mean, it's so not worth looking at because it's perfect for walking around and going to the store and
Yeah, but right. So
doing
you're
other
saying
things.
you listen to an hour and a half in an hour. You condense it on the speed, right?
Hmm.
So you must be listening to like 5 minutes here, 7 minutes there. If you're folding the sheets and stuff, you're not going to be going straight to the store afterwards. So you're going to be listening to it all over the place.
It
So you're not
takes me
getting the
about
flow.
it takes me about half an hour to make my morning drink and then clean up afterwards, and it takes me about half an hour to um take a shower and shave and all
Half
that
an hour in
stuff.
a fucking shower. If you can't do a shit shower and shave in about 10 minutes, there's something wrong with you.
Oh well.
Well, we know it's
you're
Rossy.
you're just
That's
not
right.
enjoying it, John.
Oh,
You're
God.
you're not savoring.
Got more important things to do than stay in the shower.
Well, I'm listening to a guy like laying down the truth.
One song. That's how long a shower should take you.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go take a pee right now, so time me.
Are you gonna listen to that fucking? Are you gonna listen to that person on the thingy?
He's gone.
Yeah. Oh dear.
So, Kickstarter corner. I'll do a real quick one. I did the commissions and I got the sketch cards from Rory for Thugs. So
Mhm.
they'll go out. They'll go out. God, I'm thinking after Christmas I'll post them on a Friday or Saturday, just to get them done. Because if I post them before Christmas, there's going to be too much of a line. Because you know, why some people leave everything to the last minute, like Rossy.
Yep.
Yeah, so there'll be too much of a line. So I'll post them on Friday or Saturday. Yeah, so that's the Thugs fulfilled, and I'm still waiting on the Edward Rizzo book, but that won't be till March. So the Caretakers and Candy Nasty Tales, I'm nearly finished book 2. Should be finished it by the end of this month, and I'll probably start a Kickstarter for that at the end of January. So get that up and running. So that's it. So movies and TV. What do you watch, John?
Well, the other day, well, let's just say I think the machine's on about 80 something percent now, so we're getting right cranked up for full stuff. But one of the films I managed to watch was, as I just get into my notes, it was indeed Deliverance from 1972, which I hadn't seen for, I don't know, near enough that period, sort of like probably early 80s, late 70s. I probably saw it then. It's 1 hour 49, 18 rated, 7.6 on IMDb, starring John Voight, Burt Reynolds, Ned Beatty, and Ronnie Cox. And I watched it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it because obviously Burt
Were you
Reynolds
like a
was.
pig?
That's right. Well, that's the thing everyone remembers. But one of the things now, there's no spoilers here because the film's fucking that old.
Ancient, yeah.
I couldn't remember that one of the characters died. So when that happened again, it was a shock to me because, like I say,
It was Ronnie Cox, wasn't it?
that's right. The overriding bit of the story is the old the old banjo playing against each other. So everyone remembers that. So I'm watching it, and I can see how other films have copied that initial.
Oh yeah, there was one that came out after with Powers Booth in it, where he's part of the army or something. They get lost in the
Southern
Appalachians or
Comfort.
something. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And but even like the Camp Lake Crystal and all that sort of stuff, this starts the beginning, isn't it? It's very similar to this. The people go together and then things happen out of their control. But what I liked about it was Burt Reynolds was like mega awesome in it, but then he gets incapacitated with a broken leg, and then other people have got to then step up to the plate. So I enjoyed that. Um, uh, and then there's that whole sequence at the end because obviously you've got the fighting hillbillies, Then there's a whole sequence at the end where
they're on the raft, right?
That's right, and they get down the river. Things happen. You know, one of the rafts gets smashed to pieces. They've got to try and survive still, but then they eventually meet up with the people who they give the cars to bring them down river for them, and they get the cars, and then the police are involved and all that, and it's how they manage to sort of like talk their way out of what's happened, and they cover things up and stuff like this, that, and the other. And then there's the bit at the very end where one of the characters goes and sees the parents of the deceased. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff I didn't remember, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it definitely does deserve the high rating.
They don't make movies like that anymore.
That's right. And then, funnily enough, the latest Batman was on the other night, so I recorded that, and I thought I'll watch that, not in one sitting.
Is that the one with the sparkly vampire?
The sparkly vampire?
Yeah, Patterson. Was he Batman in it?
Oh yeah.
That's a terrible movie, man.
Yeah. Now I watched it on the small screen with a download yonks ago. I thought, you know what? I'll watch it on the telly now when I'm wrapping up presents and shit. And so I'm watching it, and all the way through, I'm just thinking, this is shit. This is absolutely ridiculous.
He's the worst detective on the planet. Everybody else solves the cases for him. And then he nearly causes a huge pile up on the freeway chasing the penguin recklessly across the city.
Well, how many people got killed in that with a big fireball explosion, that sort of stuff? The truck couldn't have survived. But the thing is, the only thing that I thought was like correct was when he took the cowl off and his eyes were all blackened around. Because I always laugh thinking, so when Batman descends the bat pole, he must be quickly applying his black makeup to his face. but yeah, it was atrocious. But like I say, I needed to have something on where I could concentrate rapping and doing stuff and sellotape and shit, and doing.
Oh, you did a Rossy.
That's right. So I did that, but the TV was there, so I wasn't missing anything. But I didn't want to waste 2 hours of the time, or 2.5 hours. I think it was like 3 hours long on the TV with adverts. Right. I didn't want to waste that amount of time just sat there watching it. I wanted to be doing something. You know what I mean? So I was productive. But yeah, it was atrocious. But anyway, so that's all of that. And on the TV stuff, I've been watching Landman. I watched episode 4. I think I've got 5 to watch, and then I'll be right up to date. His family are just so dysfunctional. It's hilarious. It's you know, I think that's the thing. It's just the madness of the characters, and then you have all these horrendous things happening around, like when the 4 members of the crew went to that tank in the field, and there was people already dead there and animals. The golfers, was it golf? I think there was golf on it. The golfers died there. And then there's like fights and all sorts of stuff. It's just like, Jesus Christ, this is not the sort of business you want to be in. Even though they said, I didn't bother checking it up, but I thought it must be nigh untrue that even a person who didn't get like a proper education can become one of these riggers and earn like 180,000 a year doing the shit jobs. You know what I mean? And you just think, well, that's why people do it. They get the money, and they're getting covered in oil and crap. But yeah, it's enjoyable. The scenery is fantastic. And I did read an article that the person who writes it, who also did Yellowstone, I've forgotten his name off the top of my head.
Sheridan.
That's it, Sheridan. Yeah, he has been given basically $1 billion contract at the new station that he's working at. Because he got turned down by a couple of people when he was initially doing his stuff.
Basically he's Mr. Paramount, because Paramount do his shows, and his shows are the biggest thing on Paramount.
That's it, yeah. And so he's been offered.
They might as well just name the channel the Taylor Sheridan channel.
Yeah, but you just wonder how he can do it all, because every time it's like written by him. There's no other writers' names. Obviously, the director's a different person, but yeah, compelling stuff. So I'm really enjoying that. So
you know, he wrote. I think it was him, Taylor Sheridan. He wrote a Conan movie or miniseries or something, and approached HBO with it, and because it was or Netflix or something. I think it was Netflix, but because it was like so masculine, they said no.
Oh God.
Oh, that might be the it might have
Rossy
been the
might know
Amazon.
about it.
Yeah, it might have been the Amazon one because he
Oh yeah.
they were it was Amazon. They were going to do a Conan series, and then they brought in some woman, and she was like, "What's with all this toxic masculinity stuff?" And it was kind of like, "Well, what part of The Barbarian did you not understand?" So they ended up. That's what pushed them to get the Similarian and do the Rings of Power show,
Yeah.
and
Do
and
you
the other
think?
one, Wheel of Time.
Do you think they're going to need a few toxic males to do the big battle against Russia soon?
I don't know.
Because you're not
Well,
going to be wanting those namby-pambies, are you?
well, Tulsi Gabbard came out and said that the way Europe is talking is all nonsense. That they're like talking about how Russia's gonna like they have to prepare armies just in case Putin wants to invade Europe. She
The
said that's
EU
not going to
army.
happen.
The
Yeah,
EU army.
Tulsi Gabbard said that's not going to happen. So you can barely take Ukraine.
That's right. That is
It's
true.
just warmongering. It's just the
But
get
the thing
more
is,
money.
that's what it's all about. It's a proxy war. You look at it. Most people in Russia are not happy with what's going on. They've seen they've been lied to because they were told, "Oh, we'll just take this over and we'll have it," and it hasn't happened. And now they're sending convicts out there. They've got North Koreans out there. I think I did read an article or watched something
Well,
on
he
one.
doesn't want. I've always said from the very beginning, he doesn't want all of Ukraine. He just wanted the eastern part. That's where all the Russian speakers are.
The best bits, you mean, with
Yeah,
all the crops and stuff.
yeah, that's what he wants. But the thing, it's the same like in when Ireland fought the War of Independence, right, against you lot, and the country was split into two because the all the minerals and shit were up in the north. You know what I mean? You did smart. You did the smart thing. You kept the northern part, the
Yeah, and
six
we
counties up
stole all your
top.
potatoes and it didn't kill enough of you.
No, it's where all the coal and everything else was.
That's
All the
it.
minerals are up in the north, so that made perfect sense.
Well, that's why China are all over Africa. They're doing the old insidious debt, where they
Yeah,
lend a country or a government billions and billions of money nobody has, and then when they say, "Well, you pay that back," and when they can't pay it back, that's why it's called insidious debt. They
that
full
yeah,
well know they can't afford it, so they'll just go, "Well, what we'll do is we'll send all our firms into your country and dig up all your stuff that you've got." I
yeah.
mean,
Well, I mean, you can't blame a country for doing that. I mean, that's just smart move from it mightn't be the moral thing to do, but it's a
yeah,
smart move for a country. You know what I mean?
yeah. But why don't? The thing with me is, why doesn't the government of that country do it themselves? You get your loans at a decent rate. That's what you should be doing, and then you just go, right. We'll dig all this up. We'll employ people outside who've got the experience, and then we'll have the money for ourselves.
Yeah,
But they don't, and you just think, well, who can you blame? You can't blame the laymen like us lot because we're just minions. You have to blame the governments.
mm, yeah. Oh, I agree. Anyways, go ahead.
But I'm just shutting the curtain so people can't see me now.
With your topless, walking around in your Union Jack shorts.
That's it. Well, I'm just going to wear a thong now because it's seasonal.
Jingle balls.
That's it. I'm just bending over the table at the window. It looks like some sort of porn scene.
Chestnuts are
Roasting.
There we go. That's it. I'm secluded now, so that's it. Yeah. So So I enjoyed that, and then it's just basically I've marked up the TV guide for Christmas, and as before we went live. There's the Rocky Horror Show documentary is on this week. It was on Saturday night on Sky Arts, but I missed it because I was out rocking. And it's on again about 2 or 3 days' time, so I'm recording that, and I'm looking forward to that because last week me and Mr. Ross were talking about documentaries with reference to the books I'm getting for Christmas, and I didn't expect it to be on the telly. So well done, Sky Arts. I look forward to that and talking about it in the new year.
Well,
Yes,
I watched.
sorry.
Let me go next, and then you can go, Rossy, because
Sure.
I think you've probably watched a good few things. I've watched a few things. I finished off the Special Forces, series.
Oh yeah,
which is really good, and Billy Blue Eyes is
Baldwin
really
too.
funny. Oh, but yeah, he was off in the first show. But Billy Blue Eyes, the sass guy, I think he's sass. He was
Yeah, he
pretty
was.
funny because one of the women start rappelling down a bridge, and when she got to the bottom, she said, "This rope is right up against my crotch," and he said, "Well, Merry Christmas." He said to her. Happy Christmas, he
Wow.
said to her. Yeah, so it was pretty like they don't care. Like just do your job and shut up.
That's right.
It was pretty funny, but the two people that I thought would get to the end did. One person had to drop out because he was like Rossy, had a bad knee,
Uh,
and well, it was Corey Hart that's married to Pink. He's had over 80 bones in his body broken.
oh, that's not
So
good.
throughout his career, yeah. So he's had like screws put in on his knees, on his ankle, everywhere. So he had a bad fall, and medically he had to be removed. But he was basically Captain America. When you watch that show, I mean, he would have failed one task if it hadn't have been for the person he was with. But overall, I mean, he was basically Captain America in the flesh, and he was one of the oldest contestants. Um, so the two that did survive was one was Jenner, Chris Jenner's son.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, he actually made it to the end, and he was pretty strong all the way through. And there was Kelsey, Travis Kelsey's ex girlfriend that had been with him for 5 years before he ran off to Taylor Swift. She was on it, and she survived to the end. She was pretty good. Um, Good show. And then I watched Wham! Last Christmas, the documentary. Have you seen that one?
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. Where they had all their friends come back and talk about how the song went and how basically you gave all the royalties away.
Yeah, given
Uh,
the one part of it went to the hospital, I think, or the nurses or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So, and eventually it became Christmas #1 in 2023.
Hmm.
So that was a good bit of fun, light-hearted fun. And then, as is the tradition in the Reed household, we watch a Christmas movie every night. I I rewatched the Nightmare Before Christmas, not Nightmare Before Christmas, How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
And I hadn't watched that in years. We didn't watch it last year, but oh my God, it's like, why do you put adult stuff into a kid's movie? There's three or four
Yeah,
things in that movie I'm looking at and going, holy crap, you shouldn't be doing that. That's
yeah.
not, a parent's now gonna have to explain some of this stuff to their kid.
That was always that was par for the course for a good while. Like they got the wrong message from the Shrek movies or something.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're trying to appeal to adults as well to keep them interested, but it's a kids movie. It's a kid's story. So don't
Right.
put stuff like some of the comments that Jim Carrey would make, and oh, you hear him crying. You hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mr. Bug.
Hi, Mr.
And
Bug.
um yeah, so I'm like, that's not appropriate for kids, for children. So
No.
that was a bit of a thing. And they another thing that they did as well, they had to give him a backstory to explain why he's such a miser. And you don't have to do that. Just have the back. It's
No.
like that was the trend back then that Lucas continued in the Phantom Menace. You didn't have to do that. Just let the guy be an evil bastard and don't explain his background. That's just who he is, right?
Well, if you have a kid's book that takes 15 minutes to read and you need to fill a 90-minute movie,
You have to do
you'll
a
be
Rennie
looking
and
around
you have to do a Rennie and pat it out.
you'll be looking around for that fucking Horton Hears a Who movie. There's a bit where he
Talking
goes
about
down.
Marnie, she's standing right beside me, and her hair's like Cindy Lou Who, and she's wearing a Christmas shirt.
Oh.
And off she goes. She's getting embarrassed. She's walking away.
uh,
Oh, she just flipped me off and said ho ho ho.
Brilliant.
been hanging
Yeah, but
around
they
the
were doing
Grinch
they
too
were doing
much.
all that stuff. Yeah, like you're saying, they have to pad it out. But there was a
Yeah.
trend that they have to do this with the bad guy and explain why he's bad. I'm like, oh God.
Now they'll just make a whole movie about that.
So I was tempted, yeah, yeah. I was tempted to take the movie itself and just cut out bits of it and do it to the original Doctor Zeus cartoon
Mm-hmm.
with the Jim Carrey bits just to see how it would look, just for the hell of it. But
Mm-hmm.
no, too much of a waste of time, that one.
Yeah.
So the last thing I watched, what else did I watch? I think that was it. The SAS stuff, the Grinch, the Wham documentary. That was it. That's me done, Rossy. So you, oh, and I tried to get through Black Creek again, but I didn't have the alcohol for it.
Well, since you brought it up, let's do a little sideways trip into Kickstarter corner within our envelope of movies and TV. Because
Well,
I
already
just
did
got it.
Kickstarter corner.
Oh, well, I was off.
Yeah,
Was
you
that when
weren't
I
here,
was
but
off
you're off
peeing?
taking a pee. But go ahead, be quick.
Oh, well, let me return to that because I received a Kickstarter from you. I
Yeah,
got
we
my
talked about that too.
yeah, it looks well, let me say it looks great. I mean, just from the outside in, the Kablam packaging, that fucker's not going to get damaged unless somebody on purpose kicks
Yeah,
it around and drives over it.
I was struggling with that because the postage that they charge is a lot.
Yes.
For an item. But I mean, it's very well contained. I mean, it'll take something special to damage your copy. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I keep them. I hold on to them because I figure if I have to ever mail anything, this mailer can be reused because
That's what I
it's
do.
yeah. I mean, it's so tough and
But it's
so like
expensive. You can see why it's expensive to send
yeah.
because it's a big size. It's very well. The book is very well protected. But I'm torn between that because I'm thinking, well, that's a lot for postage. You're asking people to pay a lot for postage. Some part of me is like, well, just have the books mailed to my house and then I'll send them out in padded envelopes.
Mhm.
But the problem with that is they get the book can come arrive at somebody's house all bent,
Yeah.
which happened once, so I had to resend it in a Kablam container,
Yeah.
whatever. So
I
yeah,
didn't have
I don't know
so much.
what way to go with that one.
Yeah. I mean, you fulfilled it like right away, but still, so much time has passed that I'm like, whatever it cost, it was worth it. And then the book itself looks so good. I honestly, this that digest format should be the future of American comics because they're easy to collect and trade. They're
Compact.
easy to carry around, compact. The story's all there. In fact, I mean, the story was not designed for that format. And if I have any complaint, it's that the print seems a little bit small, but it's totally readable. And part of the reason is there's a lot of, Al, like me, did a lot of writing. But
No,
you can,
I spread that out when I get a script from Al. A lot, like for example, if you see 9 panels, and
mhm,
there's a lot. That's because there was originally only like three panels on that page, but the dialogue more or less covered half the page, so I'd have to split
right.
out what each. I used the Will Eisner rule.
Hmm.
You really should only have a speech balloon for one sentence per person.
Mm,
If somebody's talking, you can have one sentence of that person talking, and they say another sentence, you'll have another panel of that person saying something else.
mm,
Right? You don't put like 10 sentences into one word balloon.
yeah.
Uh, so a lot of that is spread out, like a lot of those panels, and then there was things where I had to think about, well, if you're going to have something shocking or something action happen, it has to happen on an even numbered page.
Mm,
So when you turn over the page, it's there, like the reaction's there. Um, but
so
that
that
takes a
would,
lot of messing around with alt script and rearranging things.
yeah, that even numbered page thing makes sense, but that was a new one on me. I didn't learn that until relatively recently. But anyway, yeah, I mean, the quality of the paper, the the glossiness and thickness of the cover. I mean, the form factor is just top notch. And then the cover, Alex Ronald's cover is great. And then you put it without all the text on the flip side.
Yeah, in
It
all its
it
glory too. No cut off.
yeah. I mean, it's like I mean, people buy the variant covers. It's like, oh, I want the Virgin variant cover. Blah blah blah. It's like there it is. It's like a trading card. It's a little bigger than a trading card, but you get a story on the inside. I mean, that should be the way modern American that should be the standard for modern American comics. The floppies, just because some guy, almost 100 years ago folded a newspaper in half and said, "Here's your comic." We shouldn't have to stay. And then the boomers
Well,
were
that
like,
became the prominent format because they were experimenting with different formats back then.
yeah, maybe it was cheap back then, but like now it doesn't make any difference. It's like you could buy, how many pages you get? We get like 80 pages in a, if you buy
Well, Thugs
4
is
American
74.
comics. Hmm?
Thugs is 74 pages.
All right, so it's 74 pages. You get about 80 pages if you buy 4 American comics, and you get like 22 pages each. So, how much was the book itself? $20?
Yeah, I think it was 20 because 74 pages, it made sense to charge 20.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, to me, I would pay I would pay the $20 and get a little bit less, but have this format which is far more collectible and fun. I mean, it's a fun format. I could see, you go to a convention, you put like, let's say you got 20 of them under your belt, you put 20 different of those digests on the table, or 15 or 10 or however many you got, and little stacks of 5s or whatever. It just, you can display that much more of them. You could do so much more with it. It's great. So I'm a very happy customer, and I'm glad you pushed me into it when we were doing White Heat. And I hope the next project is done the same way. Like, I hope you become the king of the digests. That would be truly awesome.
Like a guy over here in Arizona, like in the 90s, he was the king of beepers. You got all the pagers with beepers. He was like a
Yeah.
Middle Eastern looking guy, I think, with a
Of
Burger
course he
King
is.
crown, with a Burger King crown on his head. He was the king of beepers.
Oh, there was
Well,
I think
Rory liked that format too. Rory was really impressed with it as well because he did some artwork for the inside, some like a couple of pinups or something, and so
Yeah.
I got him a copy too, and he loved it. He was really impressed with it too.
Yeah, I mean, whether I'm involved with it or just a customer, I had nothing to do with Thugs other than knowing you and Alex, and I'm a Facebook friend with Al, so it's like, you know, it was a step away, and I just enjoyed it as a customer. Same thing with White Heat 3, and same thing with whatchamacallit, the Caretaker Tales,
Yeah.
So you got a little, how many have you got now? Like 6, 7
There's
books?
three white heats, one caretakers, and
Mm-hmm.
then thugs. So that's 5,
5.
and then
All right.
caretaker tales 2 will be 6. I am doing a one-shot debonair one-shot that will be a normal American size,
Oh, okay.
and the Kyla Treasury edition will be Treasury size.
Okay. Cool. So, so that was Kickstarter Corner A. Um, after we talked last time, I checked that Amazon woman pulp thing that's on Indiegogo. Nobody's still gotten their stuff, and the comments are really getting nasty because it's been months since he last posted. Hold tight, it's coming. And
I sent you a picture in the Progcast team of the King of Beepers. I'll also post it on the site and stuff.
Hey, it looks like me. What are you talking about?
You're
An
not
extra
that
few
big.
pounds or bad photography. I did at one point. I was getting there at one point. So anyway, um, so the other kicks. So you talking about Black Creek, which you were not able to get through. I got
I will eventually. I'll watch a bit more today.
You're like me with my Professor Jank. No, I'll listen to that guy all the way. Sometimes, like after I do my little tasks or whatever, I'll sit down and watch the end of it just to pay attention to what he's saying. But he's really good. Anyway, so I got something from Kickstarter regarding Black Creek. I'll go through it kind of quickly. Celebrating our successes because you made them possible. There is so much to be proud of. Black Creek has earned over a dozen film festival nominations, including Best Picture, Best Screenplay, Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Cinematography, and more. And if you've seen the movie, you know how hilarious that actually is. Also, she's on the cover of Black Belt magazine in her costume from the movie. There's a cover that got covered in True West magazine. It's on Prime. It's been #1 Western on Amazon Prime Video, according to this. Featured in Budo International magazine. Please support the sequel. Write a positive review. Okay.
They're doing a sequel.
Like George Washington said, I cannot tell a lie. It was, by all these metrics here, it's successful. So why wouldn't you, right? But the other thing is, I think you got one out, and I think you should know when to
Know when to hold them.
Yeah.
Know when to fold them.
Yeah. So
they should do
anyway.
Black Creek Zombie and have Kenny Rogers come up from the dead grave, do martial arts.
Well, I mean, some of these other, I don't know if you realize this, but the guy who plays the villain, the Australian guy, he was a big martial art. Like, he fought in a bunch of her well, not a bunch of, but he was in some of her other movies back when they were both young and agile, and he does like no fighting in this one, and or I think he does a very short one, and that was
he
like
hits them with his rhythm stick.
Yeah, that was his. He probably actually needed that, by the way. And that was like his last role, so that was kind of like a big deal. And I mean, he's well liked. I when he was young and agile, he was pretty awesome. He was in a couple of those Roger Corman Mad Max ripoffs where they'd go to the Philippines and blow shit up in the desert. So I really did like him, and I kind of wished his acting was fine, but I kind of wish his last role had been in a better movie. And so anyway, Black Creek is kind of too depressing for me to talk about, actually. It's because I really was all in, and
well, it's good for, like I said last week, it's good for what it is.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, at least they got something made. There's a lot of people that will, want to make movies and then never get to do them, so at least they got it made.
Yeah, well, I mean, the problem is that all of these people made like a ton of movies. Collectively, they made a ton of movies, and then there's this one. It's the Kiss Farewell tour of Cynthia Rothrock movies, where it's kind of like, oh no, you should have done this 10 years ago, or not at all, or like I said, lean into the age of everybody's age and just make a over the hill gang type comedy out of it, and but be affectionate and respectful to yourselves, and honor your legacy, but admit that you guys are old too. So that's the that is 100% the problem with it, is that they're expecting you to think that this is exactly as cool as Righting Wrongs or Lady Reporter or any of her other,
I did I did send you guys a clip from it where she sees her niece or something and goes, oh, you've grown up so much. I'm like, she's 42 years old.
I know. Well, like I said too, I've got the screenplay.
Then she talked about beating off some cowboys after. I'm like, what? She's going to be beating the cowboys off her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she is the only woman under 50 in that town, so I'm sure she is.
Her and the little Asian girl.
I've got the screenplay, and I was just kind of like scanning it, and then the characters have like the character name, and then like a brief description, and then in parentheses how old they are. They do not have a age in parentheses for Cynthia Rothrock's character, so you're supposed to assume, oh, I don't know, maybe somewhere between late 30s and early 40s.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, right. Also watched Landman, like John said. You know, after a while, some of these what was his name? Taylor Sheridan.
Mm-hmm.
They all start to blend into each other, don't they?
Well, I mean, it's just streaming shows in general. You know, you get a pretty good first season story that sustains there, especially the season of Tulsa King. You know, the first season thing and the setup and all that, introducing all the new characters, is interesting, new, and exciting. And then it settles in, and it's like I don't even know what the main story is in Landman. It's kind of like what's her face from Ashton Kutcher's girlfriend, Mrs.
Thank you, darling.
What?
I just told Karen, thank me. She's just given me a celebrity death alert.
Oh, okay.
And it's a person we'll all have sung a song. My
Oh.
version of his song is this. I'm not driving home for Christmas. I don't want to see their faces. That's right, Chris Rea has died.
No.
Well, Rossy wouldn't know him. I don't think it was a hit in the US.
Well,
is it a actual Christmas song, or do you just?
Yeah,
it's a massive Christmas song.
Oh, see,
the title of it is "Driving Home for Christmas," so I think it would be a Christmas song, Rossy.
If it, well, I don't. He said John said my version of it. I don't know if he changed the lyrics. So
okay.
I did change the lyrics.
So also, unless I have to listen to it in the store all day long, I don't voluntarily listen to Christmas music. So
that's like waterboarding. That's like Christmas music is like waterboarding for Rossy.
He's 74. He was 74, so he didn't reach the 82.
He lived a wild man's rock and roll lifestyle. So, well, okay. So I have the Billy Idol Christmas album, which I will listen to voluntarily.
So we.
The John Waters Christmas album, the Dr. Demento Christmas album, and Star Wars Christmas in the Stars, which was I don't even know if that's ever been released on CD or whatever, but it was a vinyl record that was official. It was much better than the
How often do you play them at Christmas?
He probably hasn't in a long time.
I haven't played either one of them in years.
I fucking knew it.
Yeah, so
we play our Christmas albums every Christmas, and the Billy Idol one always goes on first because it's such fucking good fun.
It's a legitimately good Christmas album, but like when we had the CD changer at work, I was able to play it for a couple of years, and they would take it out, and I was like, "What's wrong with it?" And they're like, they didn't know who it was.
They didn't know Billy Idol.
Awesome.
Fucking hell.
They didn't know from listening to it that it was him, and then they didn't care. So I was like, oh.
Well, his latest album is excellent because it's all retrospective stuff. All the songs are stuff about what he's been up to in his life, and it's really good.
Yeah,
like changing his Depends.
Yeah,
that's right.
Getting his Zimmer frame and walking to the post box, and
stuff like when he nearly died in that bike crash. You know, that sort of stuff. But yeah, and the video that he did at the Hoover Dam, that popped up online. You had to pay to watch that, and then eventually, as everything does, it appeared on fucking YouTube. So we watched it on YouTube. It was quite funny actually, because at the very beginning, he talks about his love of mechanical stuff and history and things like that. So he talks about the history of the Hoover Dam, and then he obviously gets into the concert, and the concert was excellent. So, because I'd seen a load of individual songs, but the whole gig in one rolling episode was excellent, and obviously it saved us money because it was free.
Yeah, he still sounds good. He can still do it. Not quite like him, Devo, the B-52s, Gary Newman.
Devo, B-52s. Gary Newman not producing any fucking new music of any worth.
Gary Newman's put out like probably more new albums in the last few years than Gary.
Right, hang on. Name one song now. Name one song now.
Intruder.
No, that's fucking young soul. That
was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Fucking hell.
My Name Is Ruined. That whole Savage album. I believe that actually charted.
Oh, they're all the hits.
that charted in your country. So
What, 98? I think they do the top 200 now.
So it did okay. It did well. No,
Okay, my
well,
ass.
John, you know the trick that as well as I do, the trick they play. They've subcategorized everything. So
Yeah.
it'll be like, oh yeah, it was #1 on the charts. Which one? Best electronic album.
No, I know what
with
chart it'll be on. The
What?
best, it'll be in the charts that mention a motor vehicle in its title.
Yeah, he's gonna double dip. It'll be an electric.
Best song about transport.
Yeah,
That's right.
there you go. There you go.
Right up. That'll be #2 behind the wheels on the bus.
Have him play it. No, I'm not even gonna go there. Too complicated. Anyway, so where the hell was? Oh, Cynthia Rothrock's old, and she made a movie that was not the best, but oh yeah, what were we talking about? Landman.
Movies and TV shows you watch, Rossy.
Oh yeah, speaking about old people, I saw the second Sisu movie, which was I'd say it's about as good as the first, but it seemed to me that some of the action and deaths was a little more outlandish and cartoonish than the first one, like they're trying to outdo it. But I found it very enjoyable. And then, speaking about old people killing people, I saw there's a new Mel Gibson movie. I forgot what it was called, but he plays like sort of a survivalist who has a lot of money, enough money to live in a nice big cabin in the woods with his daughter, and then he goes out for a walk and finds a girl who ran afoul of some drug dealers in town, and they nurse her back to health, and she's got some secrets, and so everybody gets involved, and he ends up like fighting and killing a bunch of people, and it was good. I mean, do you guys like Mel Gibson just in general?
Yeah.
Then you will like this movie. He's up. It's like Jason Statham, Mel Gibson, Gerard Butler. He's on the short list of people that like. That's all. He's in it. That's all you need to know. I'm gonna watch it. So, and it's about on par with it. It's not an excellent movie, but it's a good. If you like to see old guys killing people, it's a good movie. So, needless to say, Dad loved both of them because he saw himself in the characters. So, and then I think that might have been all I can. And once again, a bunch of YouTube videos, probably more than I should have.
Well, I forgot one that I watched. I watched Fallout Season 2, Episode 1.
And how is that? Is it losing the script already?
No, it's actually pretty good. The opening is excellent. John would love the opening.
Okay.
Yeah,
I won't out in the town.
Yeah, where she's up in the statue, the little Godzilla type.
That was on YouTube.
Oh, there you go. That was pretty funny. And then later on, there's a funny thing that happens later on when they come across this old lady and she asks for something to eat. That was a funny part. Yeah, it's pretty good. It opened up pretty well. Let's see if we can keep the standards up. But that's it.
Yeah, because a lot of those lose
steam.
First. Yeah, but the first one I liked. I'll give it a maybe after.
Didn't lose its steam. Breaking Bad.
Well, Rossy wouldn't know that.
Yeah,
Breaking Bad went from strength to strength.
You know what? I totally understand that was the OG of the piece of shit main protagonist to you're supposed to sympathize with and all that, but after I watched Queen of the South and I watched half the Taylor Sheridan, all the Taylor Sheridan shows and Tulsa King and all the shows that came after.
It's not the same.
I'm sure you know what.
That's like going to see Walt Disney Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and then you find out it's a Chinese knockoff.
I don't know. Some of those other ones were pretty good, but I'm if it wasn't for my dad, I'm done with these these streaming shows that are about that Warriors show. They were all good. They were all well done, extremely well done, and that's part of the problem, is that the characters are complete pieces of shit, and they use very effective techniques to make you sympathize with them, and I don't like it, and I wish I would rather not support it. I'm done with it. So I mean, I kind of finger quotes missed the first one, and I'm just not going to go back to it. But I'm sure it was great. So
Do you guys want to do the prog?
Let's rock.
Pew, pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble, Grub.
Prog 2463, the Christmas prog. You got to open, Rossy?
I do, sir.
You have a cover art by Greg Staples. What do you think of that? It's very Norman Rockwell, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Lovely, apart from one thing.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
The
I
links.
see it.
The links.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a very eye-catching cover. It's strange. They've not put the tree over the 2000 AD bit. Everything's there to be seen. The white background makes the image pop. Very nicely done. I'm loving the expressions on the kids. Very good. And all the it's nice to see Dredd emptying his sack all over the floor.
Is that
they didn't put any writing. They didn't put any writing on the bottom to obscure everything.
I know.
Yeah, remember when characters used to have like dialogue balloons on the covers? And yeah, is that young Rick Moranis in the spacesuit there? And they're all white kids too.
Oh,
what is that saying?
Ooh.
It's the white kids with the contraband, so I guess that's all right.
Did you read Droid Life, Rossy?
Yeah, man, that one was all over the place. So it was I'm not even going to try to explain it, but I like Droid Life. This one was this one was a little more all over the place than some of the other ones, but they always put a lot of effort into it, and there's more than one punchline in it, so I'll give them that. It's funny all over.
It's funny all over.
Okay. Judge Dredd, Micmac's Big Mega City Adventure, Ken Neiman, Streff on art, colors Finn Cramb, whatever, and letters on Parkhouse.
Tintin turns up in Mega City 1 and hijinks ensue due to different cultures colliding and him talking to a seemingly non-existent Mr. Blanco. Apparently, an ancient telluric spirit has him on a mission to find the wisest of gurus, and you know as well as I do, that just happens to be Dredd. After a few pages of fake comic covers and more shenanigans, Dredd finally stops it all by shooting Mr. Blanco, who is a stealth drone bodyguard, and then handcuffing Tintin to a holding post as he's called to what looks like a giant Paddington bear which has run amok.
Yeah, I understand what Rennie's trying to do here, but it doesn't work because he's all over the place. Number one, the artwork is it's that Tara Togs artist that tries to imitate the Hergé style, Hergé style, and he does it well enough until you start looking at the figure work that he has, especially on Dredd, and it's all over the place. It's the Galaxy's greatest fanzine.
Yes.
And there's a part in it where Dredd, after after shooting the drone, he just punches Tintin in the face for no reason.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty bad. And then he's mixing up stuff as well. Like Rennie, he puts in the you hear the dog. Well, the Paddington thing, which has nothing to do with Belgian comics, right? And then Dredd gets called to go to the two guys that created the Gazini Uderzo Block War, the two guys who created Tintin, not Tintin, Asterix de Gaul, which again is in Belgium. And then you can see the Block War going on, that the colors of the buildings are Asterix colors and Obelix colors. So he makes all these references, and then Paddington at the end, which isn't European. It's British. It's not.
Well,
it's not Belgian or French. I understand what he's trying to go for, but it's a mess.
Yeah, well, here in the States, like those two European comics are kind of like bookends for each other. The same people who ask us for Tintin stuff want Asterisk. So but it's like you said, I get it, but it's too all over the place. And then there's this bit where he's like talking French, and the Mr. Blanco thing, I'm not sure exactly where that came from. It's probably just came up with it himself. I think we can all agree that this whole strip exists to justify the 2 pages of fake covers that look like Tintin covers. And those are good. I mean, those are pretty funny. They just put but it's like you said, it's like, this is kind of like fanzine stuff where it's like, what if Tintin had Mega City 1 things in it? It's like, okay, what if that's what they would look like? Cool. But the story around it's just a mess. And
he has Dredd acting like a lunatic. What do you punch Tintin for?
Yeah,
he just took out the drone. He does no need to punch him.
Right. So I don't know. It's supposed to, I mean, it's a, how they say, like, there's nothing worse than comedy that isn't funny, and it just keeps going on and on. It isn't that, like, it's completely not funny, but it's kind of weird, like this giant head thing. It's been so long. I haven't read all the Tintin books, and it's been so long since I've read one that I don't know. Maybe he's put in some details or whatever, or deep cuts that I don't recognize, but like, this giant Buddha head, and the fact that he's insane, and the drone and all. I don't get it. So, I mean, I get it on one level, but I find it kind of more confusing than funny. So
yeah. What do you think, John?
I absolutely hated it. I hate the artwork. I wish the artist had drawn the lawgiver from the Stallone movie in some of the panels. Oh, yeah, that's right, he did, didn't he? But then he had to take it out, so obviously he didn't know his subject matter. I thought the static movement of Dredd looked really weird, sat on the Lawmaster, on a very tiny Lawmaster, then a big Lawmaster in some images. The city didn't have the classic mega city backdrop, the weird skyscrapers. This is it's like he's got a ruler out and just drawn tall, thin blocks, which have no windows that look as though they'd have. It just doesn't look like a mega city to me. I did like the colouring, and I thought Tintin looked spot on, but nobody else did. You've got things like on the penultimate panel, page, where the bottom Dredd's driving off, and there's the Super Surfer character at the top of the panel. At first, I thought he was sort of just stood on a thing that's sticking out of the wall, because there was the board was too.
Well, not just that. You have a kid cosplaying as a judge with a firearm that Dredd would automatically have arrested.
Yeah. It like you say, Rossy said, it was all built around those 2 pages of those 8 covers, which even then didn't even make sense in the middle of the story. To me, anyway.
Yeah, it does. It's that part's fine. So I'm gonna, you shouldn't try to second guess another artist or writer's intention or whatever, but maybe it would have worked better if the Tintin pages had been like the pages where Tintin was by himself. Those look like the Hergé things, and then brought in another artist and had him like look like almost like a Roger Rabbit insert in the Tintin style, just him by himself, and then everything else looks like a traditional Judge Dredd story. Dredd, the city, all the cars and all that. That might have been funnier, be more of a contrast. And then you still have the pages in the middle where it's like Tintin's adventures off by himself in Mega City 1 would look like this. So you could still have the thing that obviously they wanted to do, but it would probably take some extra work and extra money to bring in another artist because I think this guy can do the Tintin stuff pretty well, but I'm not sure if he can do, proper Mega City 1 style. If there is a style, the usual 2000AD brand of Mega City 1. So, but
plus to me, it was too long.
Yeah, the joke went on too long. But I mean, they could have done the page where he's like talking to the Buddha head, like Tintin style, and then when he shows up in when he gets kicked around by everybody, that would still have to be done. It would be funnier if it had been done like a.
Well, everything that he sees, or he is the main person on the story, just revolves around him. Could have been in that artwork. Everything where Dredd's doing his stuff could be in Dredd stuff, and you can have an amalgamation of the two when it's sort of crossing over. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, you do it like the Punisher meets Archie, like Rossy said.
Yeah.
So where the Punisher goes chases a villain that looks like Archie into Archie's world, and then they had two different artist styles.
And that's like what Weird Al said. The parody song has to sound exactly like the original song, or nobody's going to get the joke. So it's like the Tintin stuff looks enough like Tintin, but the Dredd, when you have the Dredd stuff done in the same style, it's just you're distracted by how off it looks.
Yeah. Okay. Talking about fanzine art, fanzines, Heard and Shook Power Trip Part 1 by David Barnett, Lee Bilmore, Gary Caldwell, and Ernie Parkhouse. And this is a double-sized episode.
Oh, I felt that. I had to read this twice because I fell asleep 3 times during it, and then I was like, okay, let me see what I missed. There were parts of like I was starting to lose my consciousness and completely missed. So rereading it again made it 0.5% better. Anyway, so Hearn is dressed up like sexy Robin Hood and firing fire arrows, and then there's like a couple of pages where they're explaining the backstory. He's got the little girl that he rescued. He's got the occult assassin girlfriend and his talking dog, but he can't control his powers. So one of the firework arrows ends up blowing a whole cluster of trees. So the little girl wants more fireworks, and so she accidentally summons a demon, which the dog has to eat, and it's all that fills a couple of pages, and it's hilarious. So she storms off because she's sad that she's summoned the demon, and so the one-eyed girlfriend says, hey, go talk to her. So he loses his slain from Temu costume and goes and talks to the girl. So there's a couple of pages where there's a page of that happening back in their house. Hearn says he wished that his girlfriend was, or this other girl was around to teach him how to use the magic properly because they don't know what to do next. And she shows up in a zombie state that somehow he manifested that. And even though he wishes for money and riches and everything else, he can't do that, but he can do other things. It's just he can't control it. So then the plant goddess lady of the trees grows up out of the ground and tells him that, yeah, we're taking away your powers until you can prove that you deserve them, and says if you can't do it, you will die. And then they cut to Wales, where the Devo guys have like a sensitive person go up to the ashes of this helicopter that Hearn had destroyed in a previous story arc. And the sensitive guy summons up Gremory, a demon, I guess, or was it one of the guys that? See, I'm not exactly sure if it was one of the guys in the helicopter he summoned up or what. It doesn't matter. So anyway, they brand him so they can contain the demon within him, and there you go.
They must have a big cauldron to keep those brands red hot, mustn't they?
Yeah, well, either that or really powerful lighter.
Mm.
So.
And have you heard of that place in Wales, Pullover? I thank you all.
Yep.
Now, weirdly, I read this and I was entertained by its not brilliantness, but I've been watching videos, as I do, Mr. Ross, on YouTube about people shooting arrows and where they carried their actual arrows in their body, and hardly anyone in history carried them over their shoulder. They'd carry them on their hip, I think it was the quiver. Because you could quickly move about and it didn't hinder your movements, and you could quickly pull an arrow out and use it, whereas over your shoulder you can't. So I'm very interested in that. So when I was reading this, I just thought, that doesn't work from what I've seen. And then obviously he carries it over his back, the actual the bow, which would mess up the string, I would have thought. I'll have to do some more video watching. But
make
overall,
sure they're less than 10 minutes.
They are. Everyone I watch is less than 10.
All right.
It was interesting because some of the art on the pages is really good and some it isn't so good. Whether the artist gets more enjoyment out of doing certain imagery than others, I don't know. But it weirdly, this actually held my interest, this tale. I think I enjoyed the interplay between the characters, the sarcastic comments and things like that. And then I knew as soon as he said, I wish Beth, I think it was, where's it at? I wish Beth were here. Obviously, your face is drawn down for the whole page because you've turned the page over. I knew that would be Beth. That would turn up. And then I thought it was very funny, and you mentioned it there on your review, where he gets told by the old the lady of the woods that they're taking the powers off him, and he'd already tried the bit where I'd wish for all this millions. Oh, why not have a billion? And he can't do that. It was just like it has to be the right time. Basically, he has to say something, and it's got some sort of meaning behind it, and it's not like basically doing the best for himself sort of thing. So yeah, there were some interesting things in there, but it comes to a thing when something like this, I had more enjoyment out in the Christmas prog than many other things. It's not brilliant, but it held my attention.
Yes, go ahead, Flint.
Well, for me, the artwork is very. It's just another fanzine story for me, and the artist is so inconsistent. I think he's better off sticking to drawing mice like he did in that Thriller he did a while back. I think that's a better. That's a better style and better story for him than this, because you can tell that he's using a lot of photo references and a lot of it doesn't match up.
Yeah,
but that's it for me. It's not my kind of tale.
Did you read it?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So,
the minute I saw it, that it was going to be in the Christmas prog, I groaned.
Just like crossing off all the stories that you're not going to read. You get done within 20 pages. So I was going to say this about the Dread one too, is like with Hergé's artwork is very, very precise, and his perspective was always like, part of the selling point was how on point all that was. And in the Dread story, it's a lot of it's kind of off-ish. I mean, he's doing the Hergé bit, but it's not the perspective, and some of the other things about it are just not as precise. And the same thing is true with this one. It's like you said, enough of it's good that I would say it's okay, but then there's like a few things that are a little bit off, or you can tell he's shooting for something like on the level of like the what's that one with the trash planet? He's shooting for something as good as like Casio Bet.
Oh, the
stuff,
discarded John about, yeah.
Yeah. Those two stories, the artwork was as close to perfect as you're going to get. And then this one had, like you said, Flint, some fanzine-ish things that were a little bit off. But overall, I mean, it is getting better with each one he does. And this was kind of like a little interlude, much like streaming shows where like nothing happens, but you spend some time with characters that are pleasant enough, and there's some jokes that are funny and interesting things happen and things are getting set up, and I guess no harm done, except it's like 10 pages and I was just kind of like,
well, at least that's
out.
that's 2 parts down, so we only have another 8 to go or something.
Yeah, whatever, however long to get to the trade. But again, this is all, we've gone from the galaxy's greatest comic with like crazy shit you would never see in a movie or TV show, and to this day, decades later, they just can't make that stuff happen in the era of CGI even. And then this, which is kind of like very streaming show type stuff with just enough special effects and just enough fantastic things and to justify it being in a sci-fi fantasy comic. Okay, it's fine. And again, this is one of their characters that they keep bringing back. And as I've said, with like the year-end issues or anniversary issues or whatever, where they put all the faces of the 2000 AD characters on one page, and it's like they're all so distinct and they're all so weird looking. And you look at Judge Dredd next to Nemesis of the Warlock, and Nemesis, like, you're like, what the hell? If you didn't know what it was, it'd be, what the hell is that? And then like all these new characters, like, oh, it's a guy in a beanie. Oh, it's some dude. Oh, it's
Andrew Sawyer's.
Yeah, there's no distinct. Oh, it's that delivery guy from the Black Goo thing. It's like all these just dude characters that are completely not. There's nothing distinct about him. It's just some 21st century guy. So I suppose that's fine. I mean, I sound so like, oh, it was all right. It's fine. I sound so indifferent, or hope from the future. It's like another strip of just some blonde dude. But yeah, I mean,
some blonde dude that's supposed to be 2000 John Constantine.
When you order him off of Temu, I know.
Yeah.
But so again, I didn't dislike it, but I don't like it. And it's in the same bucket of all the other 2008 strips that, like, if it never came back again, I wouldn't miss it. But I wouldn't mind the creative team trying something else. I mean, I like the creative team, okay. But like this strip, this idea, this everything about it, I'm like, if this was the 5th strip that they wanted to experiment with something new on, that would be fine. If the Dread strip was awesome and they had 2 or 3 other awesome characters, like, they don't have to keep bringing back the old ones. It doesn't have to be Robo Hunter, it doesn't have to be Strontium Dog, and for God's sake, it doesn't have to be Rogue Trooper. But if they could create, like, if the new creators could create new characters that were like a match for those, the closest we came was like Proteus Vex and that Silver's by the same guy. So I mean, both of those characters would look totally in place in a group shot of all the classic 2000 characters. Proteus Vex, Shakara, Silver with Constanta, cool stuff. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, moving on.
You have a good center spread of Nick Percival's new Fiends of the Eastern Front. That's a beautiful, stunning shot of that woman.
Yeah, good stuff. I like I've liked the Fiends stories, so I'm looking forward to that.
Right, then we have a wrap-up filler 2025 a year in thrills. We're not going to bother with. All right, here we go. Azimuth, Better the Devil You Know, by Dan Abnett, Tazio Bett, and Matt Soff, and the Cosplay Cowboy, Dim Dumbbell.
So the
Spinal Tap.
Oh God. So the Basilisk is going to wipe out Ramon and whatever Susie 9mm and bald Judge Anderson, who looks nothing like, who was the other bald judge?
Janice.
Looks nothing like Judge Janice at this point.
She looks like that bald woman on Deadpool.
Star Trek.
No, the Deadpool film, the latest one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Xavier's twin.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I only saw that once and I hated it. So
I fucking loved it. Right, we're not friends now. We've got to say publicly, I'm unfriending you and blocking you.
Okay. Well,
that's what we do now. That's what people do nowadays who are insane.
Well, I don't have a problem with AI, so you should probably do that now instead of later. So anyway, so Judge Janicerden is getting she's fighting off the Basilisk, and then it turns into a callback to a decades-old Dredd story or Anderson story.
Yes.
Anderson story. But at least they put Alan Grant and Arthur Ranson, thanks to them, where Satan shows up. Now, if you're not old like us and haven't read every single 2000 AD story ever, you might find this bit confusing. But it goes on for 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 pages of Neil Gaiman type bullshit where there's standing around talking or walking around landscapes and talking. And Satan makes her an offer like, I can deal with the Basilisk for you. She goes, no, I don't know how. I know how that's going to turn out. And we did this once before and I paid for it, and a whole bunch of people were suffering a fate worse than death. And they say some of those things 2 or 3 times in the course of this, and then she realizes, oh, this isn't about helping them, it's about you want to come back, you're dead, you're gone, but this would bring you back. And so she says no, and then uses you can tell she's using her powers because she's got her fingers pressed against her temple, and she fights off the Basilisk.
That's where the button is.
Yep. So she fights off the Basilisk and loses her powers and kind of doesn't remember all the previous pages, what was said and done. And she's kind of relieved because she's not living with that miserable memory anymore. And then they all walk away at the end.
Well,
They all walk into the Yellow Brick Road.
Well, I've got to say, when I got the Prog and I opened it up and I turned them pages and I saw Satan, I just went, wow, I didn't expect that. The artwork on Satan is, it has the style of Arthur Ranson, not quite, but it's not like Tazio Betton's style. So well done on doing that, because it fits in.
If you know what the original looked like, you knew exactly what he was shooting for, and I would call that a success.
And if you've ever been to a convention and met somebody who dressed up like this, which I did down at Lawgiver,
I've seen the photos, yes.
And when he was in the lift, he was causing chaos.
Because his wings were too big.
Oh God! But yeah, artwork I loved, the colouring I loved, and do you know what? I quite enjoyed this. I like the sort of it was the temptation of it all being sort of like he can rectify everything for her, but as she points out to him, you need me to bring you back. You're just sort of a semi-figment. You're in my mind. You're just trying to trap me to sort of like get that deal. So I quite enjoyed all that. It was sort of like an irrelevant bit, but it was a quite nice junction where the end of the strip from the last story, we get all that finished quite cleverly, I think, and then we can just move on, even though it says that basilisk can come back. But you've got, well, I say there was no consequences. There was. Anderson's lost all of her powers, so I'm sure that we'll have something later on where she gets those powers back. But yeah, nice artwork, nice interplay between the characters, and a pleasant surprise. It was the only surprise I had in the prog.
Well, I love the artwork, and I usually hate, absolutely kills me when I see characters go inside their head and they have like a fight inside their head. But I think Dan Abnett pulled it off really well in this one. Yeah, I'm kind of the opposite of you. When I see them bring back old characters like that, it kind of bothers me. The fact that they have Anderson in a Sinister Dexter storyline as well, and that the Azimuth started off as its own thing, and then all of a sudden the gun sharks appear. I get tired of all that.
Yeah.
But I do love the artwork. The artwork is absolutely drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah,
That was it for me.
I think it was, even though I was dismissive in my description of it, it is well written and it's very well drawn, and it does move the story forward. You know, like John was saying, Anderson now has she's lost her powers and all that. I stand by what I said, that like, if to me the Christmas issue should always be like a jumping on thing, standalone Dread story.
Yes.
They didn't do they did not do a holiday Dread story for this one, but standalone Dread story, a simple one and done heist case for whoever, and just, this is like, if you haven't been following Azimuth, and if you haven't been following Anderson literally for decades, you might not know what was going on. You totally, like, who
you'll be lost.
Yeah, if you were a new reader, you'd be like so lost. It would be completely nonsensical. But for us old farts, it was pretty good. I give it points.
Yeah. Okay. The Discarded Part 1. Peter Milligan.
You forgot the fanzine
Simon Harrison picture.
Yeah, it's a picture. It's just this black and white picture, like a con sketch of Nemesis the Warlock with no context. And okay, it's a good picture, but it just looks like something out of Zarjazz.
Maybe that's why I skipped it.
Okay.
The Discarded Part 1. Peter Milligan, Kieran McKeown, Jim Boswell, and Simon Boland.
It's the near future, and Queer Starmer's Labour Party are still in charge after banning all elections. All rubbish is taken via floating drone ships to the island of Junkfall, but not just rubbish. Anyone that the fascist Labour Party deem as enemies of the state is taken there as well. One such person is Axon Red Banksy, jailed for sedition and arrested by his daughter, and after him and some potential red shirts are dumped on the island, none notice a chip from the Muswell Hill Government Research Centre containing some juicy shit. But why
memes.
Yes. The trash masters then take control of these new arrivals, killing those who disobey and putting those who obey into work parties for the factories. This is where the contaminated waste is checked for valuable ores and minerals. Months go by, and certain people become known for what they do on the island. More of in the future progs, I'm sure. And Axon does his job of searching for stuff until the ground gives way and he falls into a hole, and he's contacted by the chip, which is fucking sentient now. It connects with his nervous system, fuck knows how, and tells him that they will be good for one another.
Mm.
I can be so good for you.
Yeah.
Love you like you want me to. Yeah.
He's neurolinked to the thing.
The artwork is really nice. It's again, it's another two-part episode. So we only have 8 more parts to go. Yeah, but it's good. It's all right. Good opener.
Yeah, I thought the artwork was great, and when they said who the writer was, I was kind of cringing because
Yeah.
it's been a while since.
Well,
we've
it might
seen
go tits up. You never know.
That's it. I mean, this was so solid. I was waiting for like the cringe, and I was like, no, this is. There's a little bit of dialogue that it's kind of like it's almost like he knows that you know that he knows that you know that there's that this is like expository dialogue, and I'm like, yeah, that's fair. You know, it's fine. Part of the 2008 brand of kind of fucking with you a little bit, but the premise sounds is interesting. The artwork's really good. I was like, again, it's like we got another main character who's just like a dude, but well, I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe he'll the Neuralink thing will change him or something. So, and there's plenty of elbow room for this to have lose at the wheels at some point. But
Yeah.
so far, not bad. Liked it.
Yeah, I like the artwork, love the expressions. The expressions in the shaded areas, the dark bits, they're fantastic. On one of the pages, let's have a look, probably about 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7. Bottom right, it's got the trash haulers dropping the rubbish in the distance while Banksy's looking at it. That reminds me of some sort of image from a movie, from a science fiction movie. It's fantastic. The only thing I thought was weird was on his name badge, it's his first name, which I've never known before. It's always been surnames and anything that I've been in. So that sort of like just like the tiniest thing, but I quite enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed the way people were falling out. There's some little bits like that remind me of certain films we've had recently, science fiction films. And I also enjoyed when the what they call the trash masters appeared, and when people started running, they didn't sort of do anything like stop. It was just like, right, we're going to blast just to pieces. That'll make the rest just stop. So I quite enjoyed that. Obviously, the end sequence made me laugh because I just thought, I'm sure we might get some sort of reasoning how this happens, but it seemed a bit weird. But yeah, good opening. Let's see where it goes. But the artwork is what's pulling it for me more than the script. Although the script was enjoyable apart from a couple of things, but the art is really nice.
Okay, Young Death, Dog Eat Dog, Keck W, Clinton Langley, and E. Parkhouse.
Is that me, John?
Oh, of course. You were Death.
Oh. All right. So Judge Death is back in his other death dimension, being a judge. He's reading this book that's kind of talking to him, and he goes on patrol, and they find a body that was eaten by a dog, and he does this bit where he's tasting the blood, and he knows that it was a blood what attacked this other judge. So they go to the crack house or whatever you want to call it, and there's just corpses all over the place. They're identified as the local drug dealers, and he knows that the judge he's on patrol with is in with them, and the other judge draws not a standard lawgiver, but looks like a revolver, and the dog is like a demonized version of Judge Death's. How do you say that? Death or death? Death?
I always say in my head, I always say Death.
Death. All right. So so it's his dog from when he was a kid, and he talks to it. It's like the sisters brought his dead. It was the dog that he had tortured when he was a kid. Brought back by the sisters. It's huge and scary and attacks him. He uses high X, and I'm not sure how he actually ends up killing it. He says you cannot kill what does not live, and he has something in his. He's just tasting its blood or something, or was it the gunshot that did it? The high X. Anyway,
Who knows?
who knows? So anyway, another judge shows up and he says, "Oh, you'll need another meat wagon," and then there's a cool shot of him on his lawmaster saying, "Better make it 2."
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I like Clint Langley's art, and the story's all right.
So I thought, I mean, it's an all right story, but I thought this was almost perfect for a
Christmas issue. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a nice one and done.
standalone. Yeah,
You weren't expecting it. You weren't expecting them to do this story. The artwork is fantastic. Just good all for what they needed. This was exactly it.
yeah, I agree. What do you think, John?
It was all right. I felt that on a couple of pages, the art wasn't high definition enough. I don't know what it was, like a panel on page when he goes into the room and he's got the dead bodies, page 3. The bodies look as though they're not as detailed. When the pixelation's wrong, and then on the 2 pages afterwards, where you got the Sisters of Death, that it can't be, but it looks as though it's the wrong. When it's happened before on the Prog where they've got the wrong setting, and there was a big hoo-ha about one strip where it was all the wrong quality. That page there is like that to me. It's not quite crystal clear, but other pages it's perfect. You know what I mean? It might be just the way the art is, but yeah, it was a nice sort of like one and done sort of strip with typical madness from this sort of alien version of the dead world. So, but yeah, it was all right, but who knows?
All right. Well, here we go. Hawk the Slayer, The Call, Alec Worley, Stas Johnson, John Charles, and Rob Steen.
All right, Mike Hawk the Slayer. So these guys are digging for treasure in the spooky forest, and they find some gold. And Hawk the Slayer's archer sidekick, who incorrectly has his quiver on his back, as per John's.
I'm just saying what I'd seen and read about since. Most people find it like on the hip.
Okay. Well, anyway,
Hip hip hooray!
He does a fast draw and kills all but one of the guys, who runs off into the forest. And so he builds himself a little campfire and sees like the ghost woman who's like, I guess he's the last of his race, and she calls to him. But he's like, no, I can't go with you yet. I still have to pledge my bow and arrow to Hawk and Bella, even though nobody gives 2 fucks about Bella.
That's because he's hunted, despised.
With the Ed Wood fanzine, according to 2000 AD. So then this big monster spider shows up, and he fights it for a couple of pages and ends up drawing his knife and cutting off a couple of legs, and then uses his arrow skills to ricochet an arrow off of a skull and hits it in the butt, and then the thing collapses and disintegrates. So that ghost woman before, that was just a vision caused by caused by the spider, who has like some kind of illusion fungus powder, whatever. Anyway, so the real ghost woman shows up and says, nah. He tells her, nah, he's got to answer his call of duty. Isn't that made by Rebellion? And
no. Sniper Elite.
And so anyway, he goes back to join, and then we're threatened with the Hawk Returns in 2026.
We're threatened with it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a hard job, and Alex Worley is trying to do his best.
For a movie that doesn't leave you a lot to work with, and even though this, and to have to follow Garth Ennis, who did a better job with the sequel than the original movie, he's doing a pretty good job. It's just it's just the limitations of a movie that couldn't afford anything but silly string and lighting in some scenes. He's making the best of it. Again, it's like when you can have an artist draw literally anything, why would you limit yourself to a bargain basement movie from back in the day? So
I feel sorry for a lot of the artists that have to do stuff like that.
yeah,
I mean, Alex is probably he was probably approached by authority and said, "Hey, can you write this?" And probably not one of the things he'd really want to write, but I don't know.
well, like how far could you go with it? I mean, could you make the movie like to make it interesting? You would have to make the movie like almost a prequel, because they're trying to keep the comic on brand with the first movie, right? So in the first movie, they could barely afford, a forest. They filmed it in some castle, and literally there was like silly string and a few old buildings. And I guess the sword, what was his gimmick? Didn't he have like a sword that did something? Or am I thinking of Sword and the Sorcerer?
No, you're thinking of the sword did do something. I can't remember what it was.
Okay. So anyway, so the movie was like ultra cheap, but for the time there wasn't a lot of Dungeons and Dragons type movies, so I could see why he loves it. I mean, I love Star Crash and Flash Gordon. Well, let's go with Star Crash because that's another that was made on a comparable budget. So I love that too. But if I was going to do a comic book, my goal would be like, okay, let's get out of the low budget and special effects of the time and really make this like the way you see it in your head.
Yeah.
And they're not doing that with this. It's like they're trying to keep on brand with the movie, almost as if like this is going to be
the next big thing.
Well, we're going to get a streaming show budget and either redo the movie or do a soft reboot or something. It really feels like they want to make it enough of a thing to do something else with it, and that will also be the 21st century equivalent of a cheap direct-to-video, cheap theatrical film that immediately goes to video from the 80s. So, which would basically be like it'd be like a cheaper version of The Witcher for all intents and purposes, I would think. And it's like, okay, I mean, I know you love it. I understand loving that kind of movie, but you have to move it out of what it was and make it something better.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I mean, when I was holding it and reading it, and the right-hand page was sort of like limp in my hands, so I couldn't see the imagery. And you got to that bit where the one of the people who were digging up the ground says, how fast are you? I knew before I even put my hand across to straighten the page up that they'd all be dead around him. So I did laugh at that. There's some nice image of his face. Let's turn the page over. I thought the ghostly apparition was the best bit out of the strip. The artwork, and that was fantastic. The fight with the spider thing, the grave crawler, was very long, and I thought was ludicrous. Some of the positions he gets in, where he's dropped things and he's crawling towards it, and then when he finds the arrow, it's the helmet goes up in the air. Next image you see, he was laying down sideways on that firing. Next image you see, he's on his back with his hands in his hair, and the bow and arrow, or the bow is missing, and he grabs the leg coming straight towards his head. That it just didn't work for me. Although I did love the stuff around the fight. So see where it goes, but it's not the strip that I like. But we can't say too much, otherwise so Jason will sue us because he loves this strip.
He'll jump in on our call and start yelling at us.
How dare you slag off the strip that I've always wanted in 2000 AD. It will be 2000 AD featuring Hawk the Slayer.
You Philistines! I will say too that the artwork was excellent on this one too.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
in fact, I will
Well,
even
because
say
Stas Johnson is a true professional. Same with Clint
Yes.
Langley. The old
Yeah.
guys are pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, Rogue Trooper Ghost Patrol Part 14 and the final part. Thank you, Lord. Alex DeCampi, Neil Edwards, Matt Soff, and Rob Steen.
After the usual meme of the baddie telling Rogue all, he's then summarily executed via shot through Bagman. Oh my God! The old trope of not checking he's actually dead happens next, and Rogue grabs Nygaard by his ankle and quickly has him at his mercy. With the alarm counting down the 5-minute self-destruct sequence, Nygaard says he's the only one who knows the quick code, so he can't be killed. I wrote this in the middle of the night at work, so it's all over the place. Rogue then kills him, and two of the robot lasses empty dozens of rounds into the area that Rogue isn't. Luckily for Jock, he bashes one of the lasses with a chair, while another misses him with shots from close range once again. FFS. Enter Rogue, stage left, and as he kills the last two of the Judge Hershey sex spots. Sadly for Rogue, the chip with all the GI programs on has been destroyed. Anyway, the base explodes and the ship above picks up the escape pods, thinking the sex spots are inside, as they stand in front of the boss to hand over the info. Rogue is scaling the side of the ship, clunking his way up. They reveal themselves, and another CQB, close quarter battle, happens. Woo, exciting. The commander runs away straight to Rogue and is ordered to tell his troops to surrender. Soon after, Rogue fucks off. What an absolute waste of all the pages in all the progs that this continual dirge has been in. Now, I did read people saying they enjoyed this, and I thought, you're obviously mentally ill. I mean, our Sam's obviously bonkers. Everyone who thinks this is good must be even more bonkers than our Sam. So I cannot understand how anyone thinks any of this is good. All the tropes and memes are in here. I was infuriated. Right, look at that shot. She does a shot from a small distance, blows his back away. You would think, which hasn't happened, right? And then we have three other parts where everyone's feet in front of each other, blasting away, missing. She misses Rogue with what, like 30 shots that are all around him. And then Jock, he gets missed by another load where he's running straight away. He's not zigzagging, running straight. They're round by his feet, the walls around him. You would think hopefully one got his knee, but it didn't. And then you have another scene, let me just get to it, where they reveal where they come up the escape pods, and none of the notes managed to shoot them. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this is the worst type of storytelling anywhere. You go, wow, put these action sequences in. I put these action sequences in, but they're not action sequences where there's no repercussions, because you're looking at it, you just think, can nobody shoot? I get sick of it in Dread where nobody can shoot. We all take the mick out of Star Wars, and you know when the Tharg was going on years ago, we're not like all the other shit because we don't do the normal crap everybody else does. You know, we don't bring heroes back from the dead. Lies.
Yeah.
And then we don't do this. Well, this is as terrible as the stormtroopers in Star Wars, because everyone on the planet laughs about them missing. There's bloody loads of videos about them missing stuff. Even advertisements in the Super Bowl have had them missing things and stuff. And this is terrible. They're feet away from each other and they're missing. So as far as I'm concerned, I've now, after it's finished, woken up from a nightmare.
It feels like the person who wrote it hasn't even watched a lot of war movies. I mean, never, at this point, it's going to be hard to find a person writing comics or drawing comics who's actually been in any kind of combat.
Yeah, because if you look at the original Rogue Trooper, they're written by Jerry Finley Day, and he's the guy that actually was in the military.
Right. So, and or even just looked at reference material or watched a History Channel doc. This is taken from what you imagine, what they probably imagine a war movie must be like, and then it feels like Alex DeCampi took like an old Rogue Trooper story, like the way they were written in the old timey days, which was a lot more. You felt the episodicness of them and be like, oh, this is the one with the barbed wire thorn bush, and oh, this is the one with the, with the tank that does something. Just, it's like a lot of one and dones. It adds up to a longer story, but you definitely feel like a beginning, middle, and end of each 5 pages. And it felt like there was some point when they tried to do this, it was kind of like, okay, this is the episode where they fight the giant fish, and this is the episode where the Mario Bava sex bot assassins addicted to love girls come out of nowhere, and but this is supposed to be the big finale, which again was probably like, this is probably more like chapters 15 and 16 back to back, or 14 and 15 back to back.
Yeah.
No, the last one was a 2-parter back to back too.
Yeah.
So this was probably actually 15 and
almost as long as the Cursed Earth or the Cursed Earth.
Exactly.
Without the excitement.
Right. So this was almost like half a year. I mean, if a year is 52 weeks, and this is almost like 20 weeks. Let's say it's almost, let's say at least a quarter of a year was devoted to this story, and it's just like a bunch of chapters where it doesn't add up to anything, and it's kind of like, here are the original, and now his weapons get to meet the people that they may have been cloned from, but it doesn't matter because so much genetic manipulation was taken that you're not really the same person or thing, so doesn't matter there. The villains were just kind of like weak and who cares and easily defeated. It was just, I liked the artwork a lot, and there were parts of it when as it was going along where, even though I really don't like Alex DeCampi, and I don't like her as an artist, I don't like anything I've heard about her as a person, and I haven't read anything by her that I thought was like Full Tilt Boogie was one of the worst things 2000 AD ever published, but even off on her own Bitch Planet and some of the other stuff, at best it's okay and way overpraised. So I tried to be.
So you like it then?
So when she did well, I mean, the thing she did well is like, okay, well, I mean, because this thing dragged out over a quarter plus of a year, it was in the Prog with other stories when there was just like, the whole thing was a slow burn, and then this one story had some action in it. And I thought, well, somebody's trying to make 2000 AD the sci-fi action comic that it used to be, and the artwork's good, so praise for that. But then you get into the end of this, and it's like, wow, you really just went by the Rogue Trooper Wikipedia page, didn't you? Because this is just, I feel sorry for the artist. The artist really tried, but
well, see, that's the thing. That's the thing. You have all these really good artists, and the highlights of their career are shitty stories. It's like Frank Miller had Dark Knight Returns, Dave Gibbons had Watchmen, Henry Flint has shitty Gordon Rennie and Rob Williams stories. It's like, Jesus Christ, Henry Flint needs his Dark Knight moment. Even Frank Quitely as All-Star Superman. It's like these artists need this one story that's going to cement them as a great, and they're not going to do it with writers like Alex DeCampi and Gordon Rennie or Rob Williams. I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame. You see, poor old Nick Percival does a great job in the horror stories, but dude, you're going to be remembered for doing Dread or Gordon Rennie Dreads. It's like, Jesus Christ.
For Gordon Rennie trying to shoehorn a horror story with this mythology that's coming out of nowhere into a Judge Dredd story, instead of just like coming up with a horror story for him. Because didn't he did like a bunch of Judge Death stories too, right? Didn't they run in the magazine or something?
I think so, but the thing is, like, this is, these artists, they won't be remembered for big things. They're great artists. Like Stas Johnson is a good professional too. Clint Langley will be remembered for the ABC Warrior stuff, but that's superior writing.
Sure.
And even Slane, the Slane stuff he did is great.
Yeah.
He'll be remembered for that. I mean, Henry Flint, he's a fantastic artist. He'll be remembered for drawing Dread, but he won't have his own Watchmen. He won't have his own, do a power bomb. He won't have his own, you know what I mean? He won't have his Batman Year One. It's just, it's just sad to see it.
It would have, if this artwork had been on a good Rogue Trooper story, it would have been great for Rogue Trooper and the artist. But she, she comes in and some of it's not even like her writing skill or credentials. It's because everybody knows she's got some kind of association with with Duncan Jones, and because they did that Maddie thing together, and people are kind of like hoping that there's going to be some seeds and clues of what's going to be in the movie in her story. And God help them if that's true. I mean, we're hoping for the best, but we're not exactly optimistic about the movie. And if this is a sign of what's in it, forget it. You're going to get Red Sonja so bad.
What do you think, John?
Well,
asleep.
I just bored with it all.
Mm.
It didn't. It like I say, it was just a waste of all those pages from all those progs. It was an absolute nothingness.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're going to get their trade.
Yeah, well, nobody will buy it.
Trade on.
They're going to buy it unless they have a signing for it.
Oh man.
All right.
They'll get a trade for it that they can sell hopefully before the movie comes out. So good for them.
All right. Strontian Dog, The Next Case by Carl Stock, Colin McNeil, Dylan Teague, and Rob Steen.
Right. Johnny volunteers for a cheap job at Christmas. Take down 3 Strons who've taken over a sentient planet. He arrives, does a bit of shooty stuff, captures them, and takes them back for the bounty. Oh, during this, Wolf is sort of like his Jedi ghost, Jiminy Cricket. That's it.
Brilliant artwork, Colin McNeil. I mean, there you go. There's a legend. Like his, if he ever kicks the bucket, he'll be remembered for America, one of the greatest Dread stories ever made.
Sure.
And his ability to have about 3 or 4 different styles.
Yeah.
And this, on this one, I absolutely love the imagery of Wolf when he appears.
Yeah.
I think it's really, it's just that sadness in his face. Because if you look at Wolf, there's only the eyes and his cheeks you're seeing because of the massive beard. But he manages to portray all that emotion in just that tiny bit of face he's got. And also with Johnny Alpha, you've got on lots of imagery, I'm just trying to see, where he's got his helmet on, you've got the nose is shown through the light, the eyes obviously, and might be a little bit of mouth here, there and everywhere, depending on the distance shots. And he just does it so well. And if you look at this style, it's similar to that other style he did where all the legs and bottoms of stuff was drawn off in like 3 sort of weird prongs, which you do get one image on the last page, whereas I'm looking in the background as Johnny's walking away. But yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, the design works of the ships. I did like the stuff where he's got you actually seeing the bubba on his chest where it was carved into him, and he's looking in that mirror at himself. Just, really enjoyable.
Yeah,
and a classic sort of like 6, 7, 8 pages. I think it is. Was it 6 or? So 1, 2.
The little alien designs are great.
Mm-hmm.
Look like little guinea pigs, Rossy.
I thought they looked more like ducks. But I see it. I see what you mean.
Probably guinea pigs wearing a little mask That's what they're doing. They're wearing masks because they save lives, but they didn't when those buggers were shooting them.
See, guinea pigs' eyes are more like on the side of their heads. So
These are mutant guinea pigs.
I see. Oh, okay. So again, we got another story that's written on the back of a decades-old 2000 AD classic. So if you don't remember the Max Bubba story or never read it or a new reader, you're going to miss about a quarter of why this story is poignant. But as far as like Christmas prog stories go, this was just fine. Had a good beginning, middle, and end. The artwork was excellent. Kind of leaves you off where it began. You know, it's not going to change any of the continuity of the main strip. And it's fine. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I loved it too. Thought it was really good. Nice, nice end. And then next issue, next Prog in January, Wagner's back.
Yes, Death of a Judge. Yeah, that, and Mike Perkins too. That should be very interesting.
Yeah. So, what was your favorite in the Prog?
Mine was Fiends of the Eastern Front Dracula. Artwork, fantastic, and I know the story will be entertaining. But apart from that, I'm going to go for Strontium Dog, the next case. It was, even though I thought it was shorter than it was, 10 pages long, it felt shorter, which means it went quick, which means I enjoyed it. Artwork was brilliant. Classic, nice, entertaining storytelling. Not convoluted or anything like that. Just straight through the story. No superfluous stuff. And as many people say, you always save the best to last. Boom.
Yeah, I'll go with the Strontium Dog story. What about you, Rossy?
All right, I'm going to be the contrarian here.
You're going to be the Grinch.
No, I thought Azimuth was.
I enjoyed that.
I thought it was very well done, but because it's on the back of a very old story from the Prog and in the middle of a very long ongoing story from the Prog, I'm going to give it to the Judge Death story.
Ooh.
To me, that's what a Christmas Prog story should be. And then I will give another honorable mention to the Discarded, because despite my misgivings, it looks like it's got some potential.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and nothing wrong with the Strontium Dog story, but I didn't think it was as I thought.
There's no, look, it's okay. We still like you. Don't worry. I'll still come and visit you again in the future, even if you don't like the same stories as me and Flint.
And you're still welcome. Although I'll have to move my gigantic desk to open the sofa bed for you.
Do you know what? I have this thing I was thinking about for the last few weeks. I might just turn up without you and no one day next year or the year after. Just me. I'll say to the counter, look, I'm gonna have to take a week off and I'm gonna fly over there and torch that bugger. I'll come into work and chaperone you around all day long, and I'll see, and then I can witness this insane mad life you lead with your 1.5 speed recordings of stuff. I'll be on the bus with you watching all the lunatics. I'll wear my Union Jack jacket and my Union Jack shorts. I'll be like the mad Brit. People go, fucking hell, who's he with you? You see, it's my mad British friend.
Yeah, you can be like Harvey.
and I'll just stand there going, can I put my fag off all you Yanks?
Oh, that'd be awesome. Although I gotta say, like the buses are generally aren't that weird.
Well, because you're not in the weirdest part of Los Angeles, are you?
That is a big part of it. Oh yes, yeah. Oh my God, there's a couple of lines. It's like you have to prepare like you're going on a Mad Max truck trip. So.
Dear.
All right, I think we're done. Will I stop recording? Let's see. Yeah, I'll stop recording. Merry
All right.
Christmas, everyone.
Yes.
Merry
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Only 3 days to go. No snow. Although we had fake snow at the music gig the other night on Saturday. They had the old pyrotechnics inside, the flames and the fucking smoke and all that. Then all of a sudden there was all this fucking fake snow coming out above us. Sam was just out of the angle for it, but there was a couple of women I could see they were covered in it. It made them have like a bloody afro haircut. There was that much coming out, but yeah, we had a good time. So,
All right, we're done.
lovely.